Okay, I apologise for the wait there, but I was just trying my best to get my head around using 3 different cameras. And so what I ended up doing is foregoing seeing me on camera, which is probably for the best for everybody involved. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. My name is Russell. Today I am going to be playing through Great Western Trail, which is the game you see here before you. It's one of my favourite games. It's a sort of worker movement, deck building to some extent, with lots of sort of little mechanics in it that all make for a very satisfying sort of like heavier game. Thematically, you are cattle ranchers. You have a deck of cattle cards, which are very sort of low values, or 1s and 2s in different colours. And ultimately you are going to move along the Great Western Trail, which is this track here, as you can see, the different sort of split up pathways, but ultimately all of these go towards Kansas City. And when you get to Kansas City, you're going to sell the cattle, go hopefully with as best a hand as possible, to make money, and also ship to these cities on the top there. It's a point scoring game, so ultimately the player with the most points at the end of the game is going to be the winner. And there's obviously lots of different actions you can take along the way to do things like add new cattle into your hand, not into your deck, manipulate sort of the way that you build up your hand there of cards. You can get money, you can hire more people, which is this sort of track here. Hire more people, which gives you different abilities or better abilities, and you can also sell some cattle in the meantime, advance your sort of railways, which is the track that goes along the top and down the right there, and that's about getting points, and ultimately do that in as efficient a way as possible to score the most points. Points at the end are scored. Actually, I'll show you the little score sheet. So I'll show you a clean one. Still got the last games. So if I just put that on this camera here, you'll see that the scores, you'll get scores for money. 5 coins gets your point. Buildings are worth money, and these are your buildings here. So you see that each building has a point value on the top right, and that's how many points you'll get for it if it's built at the end of the game. You'll also score points for going to stations, and this specifically is where you go to 2 adjacent stations. So you'll see on the top, these basically, if you built in both of these, the points that you'll score is actually 6 victory points there, because that's the bonus for building those. You'll score for station tiles. Every time you manage to locate and get one of your one of your people into one of these stations. Actually, even if you sort of get there and you build one of the discs in there, you'll score points for that. You will also score points for any hazards you've collected. Hazard tiles like this have point values on them. You'll also score for your hand of cards. Now, your deck of cards, because if you unlock these sort of upgraded cattle here, you'll see they each have victory point values on them, so that one's worth a nice shiny 3 points. If it's in your deck at the end of the game, you'll also score points for objective cards. Now I have to sort of slightly adjust this camera as I go along, because that is the opponent that I'll be playing against, and these are the objective cards. So I'll have to sort of like keep tilting the camera up and down, and that means that if you need to sort of zoom in or ask about anything, you're more than welcome to. Just ask me, I can direct the camera towards it. You'll also score points for Stationmaster Tiles. So you'll see these are the tiles at the top here. If you manage to get your hands on them, you'll score points based on any that you've got in fulfilling the sort of conditions on them. For example, this gives you 1 point for every worker you've hired by the end of the game. You'll score points for... this is points for on your board. So you'll see some way, if you unlock this disc here, this one here, you'll actually get 3 points at the end of the game. This one, I always forget what this one is, but I do know it. There's points for... my goodness, how can I not remember what that one is? I know that this one is if for knocking this off the end of the board. If you're the one that pushes this off the end of the board, you will actually score those 2 points. There's something else here. How annoying is that? You know what? Oh yes, that's right. You'll score points for workers you've hired. Oh, hi Chris and Lindsay, thanks for tuning in. Sorry you can't see me on the camera, but it's just too fiddly to set it up so that I have access to myself, and it was slightly delayed, and I didn't like you being able to see me and my words not being in sync, so that's why you can't see me. But really, thanks for tuning in. I'll try and make this as brief as possible because this is a bit of a heavy game. Yeah, so this is basically, this points here, these are for when you, if you get to this section or this section with any of your 3 types of employees, you'll score 4 points. So that's what that's for. Okay, now you might notice actually in the bottom right of the screen, next to the chat box, there is another little box, and that's the Automa deck. So this game, I'm not playing with a real person, I'm playing with a fake person. His name is Garth. He's very good. How is the sound, by the way, Chris and Lindsay? If you want to let me know if the sound is okay, if the video is okay, if anything needs adjusting, please just write it up. I'll definitely... that's not a good start. I'm banging into cameras. Yes, because it was much... it's a bit quiet. Okay, so what I can do is I can boost the gain on it. So give me 1 moment. Actually, I can just bump it up there. So let me know if that's any better. I'm going to try and like direct my face towards the microphone so you can hear me better, but let me know. Much better. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. I think I always tend to forget to turn it down when I'm doing Tina Chit Chats, and I need that too because it's hard to get the same volume of level with the people like yourselves who are on it. So obviously I'm just going to have to keep an eye on that from whenever I do solo. Anyway, okay, so yeah, that's point scoring, and that's what I'm going to be doing. However, like I said, the Automa deck, which is that little card symbol that you can see next to the chat box, that's who I'm playing against. His name's Garth, and he will just do actions based on that Automa deck. Now, in this game, you have access to money, and you can see I start with $6 here. However, my opponent does not have any money. My opponent simply walks along the trail, doesn't have any money, and usually just gets to do actions regardless of how much it costs or whether he can actually do them. So he is going to be going along. I am playing red, as you can see. He will be playing blue, and he will still go along this trail and do things, and he will still gain me money if I do things like put hazard buildings down. But ultimately, he doesn't have any money. He will just go along, do stuff, buy new cattle, get points, do everything to kind of impede me, but he will not keep track of money, so it's much easier to play against. Now, I'm going to do a very quick explanation of the rules from scratch, so bear with me a second if you have played this before, but it might be very helpful for somebody who's never played this before, just to get you an idea of how the game plays. Okay, so this game takes place over so many rounds. Each round is players take turns in order, and the order of play is very simply A, B, and C phase, and you simply do those phases in those orders, and after you've finished, you will then carry out the next player's turn, and they will do an A, B, C, and so on, and the game will end as soon as this token ticks down, which will make sense when you've explained the rest of the game. As soon as this token drops off the board there, each player, including that player who caused that, will get one more turn, and that's the end of the game. At the end of the game, you'll count up all your points, and the player with the most points is the winner. Now, I said there's many ways to get points. You can hire people, you can upgrade your sort of deck, you can build buildings, you can move your train, which is that sort of at the top there, left. You can move that train along and try and get stations, and that will allow you to gain points, and also selling cattle to higher up cities there, because every time you get a bonus, but you can also get some points at the end of the game. So, how does a turn work? Well, simply put, the first thing you'll do on your turn is go to phase A. Now, in this game, we are playing 2 players, me versus the Automa, and so we're using this. But there is a little token, which I'll probably just show you just for the sake of it. If you're playing with 3 players or 4 players, you have a little different sideboard, which kind of makes it a little bit easier to move, and it adjusts the cost of the hazards depending on the number of players, because it does matter in this game. So A phase is simply about movement. So in the beginning, each of us, well, I say me for the most part because it doesn't matter about the Automa, because they will go based on what the deck says. You will move 3 spaces. Now, I can upgrade this later on to go up to 5 spaces, but for the start it'll just be 3 spaces. If I move 3 spaces, up to 3 spaces, every time I move down the track and hit a building, that counts as one space. Even if I don't want to stop there, it counts as one space. So this player, me, could go 1, 2, 3, and that's the furthest I could get from my turn. If I wanted to, I could go down either route, but a hazard also counts as a space. So if I wanted to go down this route, 1, 2, 3, that would also count as a space there. If you go onto any building or space that has a green or a black hand symbol on it, that counts as a hazard, and the hazard costs you money to navigate through. Even onto it costs you money. So the costs in a 2-player game is each hand, regardless of its colour, costs 2 money, and that money would either be paid to the bank or to another player if it was their building. And I'm going to use this as an example. So let's say that this building was here and the other player would move past here. This player would owe me 2 money, so they would have to go there. If they didn't have it, then that money would not, they would pay what they can, and then that would be it. They wouldn't have to pay extra or not be able to move. You can always move, but you almost pay as much as you can towards a fee if you have it. Okay, so after you've moved and paid any fees, wherever you land or wherever you stop, that's the action you can take. Now, that's the phase B section, as you can see here on the board. Now, there's 2 options here, 3 options actually, technically. The first option is if you land on a neutral building, which is indicated by the sort of grey coloured border, or your own coloured building, which is indicated by your coloured border. If you land on either of those buildings, you get to do the action indicated on that building. So let's go over the neutral buildings. This building lets you take a TP tile from this selection here. You'll always take from the track with the highest value money. So in this case, this would actually start filling up to here. So if this was full, you could take this and you'd get the reward of 10 money. But as it is now, the highest value money showing is actually -1. So if you landed on here and decided to take this TP tile, you'd actually have to pay 1 towards that. TP tiles essentially get stored as part of your sort of, your supply, because they will count towards things like objectives at the end of the game. So you do want to keep hold of those. But obviously you want to take them when they're worth money if you can, but obviously you might not need to, or you might need the tile more than you need the money. So wherever you see the slash symbol means that you can do either or of the actions on that. So otherwise you could pay 2 money and move your train forward 2 spaces. I'll talk briefly about trains now. At the moment none of us are on the track. We are actually in Kansas City, but once we start going on the track, we move simply by the number of spaces. So if I use that action and I paid 2 money to the bank, then I would move 2 spaces. Now, movement is you never land on the same space as an opponent. So if Blue had to move his train 2 spaces forward, he'd actually go 1 and then jump over me to land on the 3 space. If you reach a split in the track, each of these is different spaces, but if you reach a split in the track, you can choose to go forward or you can go to the side, and that would be 1 space. And then to move out from here, you'd go into there and that would be another space. But that's useful if you want to try and get to the stations, because stations allow you to collect these tokens and also gain points as well, usually at the cost of some money. So that is very useful. So that's how train movement, you always jump over an opponent, so kind of leapfrog them. So this has a split section here. So not only do you have this section with the slash, so you do either that or that, but you also can do this action as well. And this is the auxiliary actions. So we'll go to look at your player board now. This is auxiliary actions. You have 5 rows here. Each of them is a different auxiliary action. And at the beginning, the only ones you have access to is a single auxiliary action here or a single auxiliary action here. This one is simply to gain 1 money from the bank. This one is to draw 1 card from your deck, and then looking at your new hand, you can discard one of those cards, or you must discard one of those cards into your discard pile. So this one's about manipulating your hand. This one is pay 1 money to move your train 1 space backwards, which is useful if you moved past a station and you wanted to move backwards into it, or for any other reason you want to. This one also lets you move your certificate marker down 1 space. This is a track that keeps track of your certificate. This will allow you to spend it to bump up the value of your cattle at the end when it comes to Kansas City. So just treat this like a modifier. But once you've spent it, so say you wanted to add 3, you'd spend it and it goes back to 0. So that's how you can add towards your certificates. This one allows you to spend 1 money to move your train 1 space forward, and this one allows you to move your train 1 space back for scrapping one of the cards in your hand, which is ultimately in your deck as well. This is actually quite nice. So if I wanted to scrap that and then eliminate it out of the game completely, I put that in the box and I'll never see that card again, which is good because it means you're more likely to draw different cards. So that's classic sort of deck building strategy. It is included, but it does mean you have to unlock these. Now, when it says here, look, you can see there's a double auxiliary action. So you've got this gear symbol, which means this kind of column here, but you see double there, 1 times 1 times. That means that if you've unlocked both of those spaces, for this action you can do this twice. What it does not mean you can do this and then a different action, and if you unlock just one of them, it means you can only do one. You cannot double up on that unless you have unlocked it. So that's the benefit of unlocking these. It means that when you get to do this or double auxiliary action, you can do the same action twice. Okay, so this building here, let me know if you can see that, by the way. So this one allows you to move your certificate marker down 1, which is over here, or you can take an objective from the supply. So I'm going to just tilt the camera up here, because this is the objectives here. When you take an objective card, okay, this card goes into your discard pile, okay? I'm just going to show you an example of one here. So this goes into your discard pile. When you draw it again, you may play this card into your objective area, and at that point, you must then fulfill the objective, and complete it for 5 points by the end of the game, or potentially suffer a penalty of -2 points if you do not complete this. Now, the bonus to playing an objective is obviously potentially scoring points, but also you get the bonus in the top left of that card. Now, this one says that you get to move up to 3 spaces, and with ignoring any hazards along the way. And you can do that as part of your movement action. So you play that, and then you get to move 3 spaces, and you get to move whatever spaces you want to as part of your action as well. So you could use this to jump over some hazards before you do your move action. I think there's specific rules about when you can play movement cards, but we'll get to that if it becomes an issue. There are different kinds of objectives. This one requires you to have at least 1 red or blue or yellow card, as well as 1 brown card, as well as 1 purple card in your deck by the end of the game. This one requires you to have a purple cow card, as well as at least 1 hazard in your supply at the end of the game. Bearing in mind any cards or tiles used to complete objectives can only be used for a single objective card. So if I wanted to complete this one and the previous one, I'd have to have 2 purple cow cards in my deck. This one this one means you must have at least 1 station tile, which of these spaces along the board here, as well as 2 green TP tiles. And this one requires you to have built at least 1 building on the board, blue TP tile and 2 hazard tiles. This one, by the way, lets you move your train space 3 forward. This one allows you to draw and discard 3 cards 3 times, and then this one is the same. Any new ones that come up, I will try and explain them as I go. Okay, so we're going to try and briefly carry on because it's taking a bit of time. This one allows you to move your trains forward 1 space for every engineer that you've hired, and this track here. Oh, I need to get a little bit down again. There we go. So you see this track here. At the moment, we start with 1 permanent cowboy, 1 permanent builder, and 1 permanent engineer. So if I used this action, it would mean I moved 1 space forward. But if I hire more people, then I get to move more spaces. So let's say I hired 5 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd actually get to move the train 5 spaces along the track with that action, which is pretty sweet. Okay. This tile here allows you to sell 2 identical cards, any color, for 4 money. Also, you can get rid of a hazard off the board from anywhere for 7 money. Now, when you get rid of a hazard off the board, you take it from any of the hazard sort of filled in spaces. You take it as personal supply, and you also get points at the end of the game. This one, for example, is worth 4. This tile here, this one allows you to sell specifically a green cattle card, which will be in your starting deck, for 2 money, and then also build a building onto the board at a cost of 2 money for every builder you use. Now, when you build, this track determines how many builders you can use. So at the beginning, you can only use 1 builder. A builder can be used to go from to upgrade a level of building, starting from a 0 to a 1. But if you have a 1 building, you can then build a 2 building on top of that. And I'm just going to show you at the top left of these tiles, you can see the building level. So this is one of the buildings I could build from the start of the game, because I have 1 builder and I can build a 0 to a 1 building space. So when you're building a new building, you build it on any empty space on the board. Where you choose it is obviously up to you, wherever benefits you the most. But obviously you have to consider things like the hazards are more difficult to get to these buildings. You may have to cross hazards to get to it, but that's why they are bonuses on those spaces if you choose to build in it. So so to use a builder, it costs you 2 money. So for the first action, if you haven't got any more builders, you can only build a level 1 building by using your 1 builder, and you build it anywhere on the board, costs you 2 money, and then from that point on, that building is only usable by you, but it still will be potentially a hazard for any players that go past it. Okay, so building a building, let's talk about these bonuses. If I was to build here, anytime I go to this building and use it myself, I also get to use a bonus action here, which is to discard a 1 grey card from my hand, which is, you can see there's one right here, and that would allow me to increase my certificate by 1 and get 2 money from the bank. So that's the benefit of that. Okay. The other ones are, for example, discard any card to increase your certificate, and up there I think there's no revolutionary ones. They're all pretty much the same, but they are worth it sometimes for the bonus. So building buildings, if you build on top of a building, by the way, I didn't say this, so let's say I had 1 builder again, I could actually build the level 2 building on top of this, because it's going from a 1 to a 2. I'd still have to pay the 2 money. However, only the top building in each pile can be used and scores you points at the end of the game. So ultimately, you're going from a level 1 point building to a 3 point building, so you are gaining 2 points. You're not gaining 3, because obviously you are losing that 1 point by building on top of it. Okay. I should say at this point, by the way, as part of the setup, I randomly chose each of these side of these buildings. So you can see I've gone for the 1B just by random, but there's 2 sides to every building, and those benefit you differently, and it makes the game more replayable. Okay, so that's building. You can use as many builders as you have, by the way, so you could choose to build 2 different buildings, I believe, if you have enough builders and enough money. This action here lets you sell a black 2 cow card for 2 money and go to cattle market. So let's talk about cattle market. The beginning of this game, because we're playing 2 players, I've placed 7 from the randomly shuffled deck here. This consists of 5 different cards. You've got level 3 cards of yellow and blue and red that value what they are worth in your hand, but the points that they're worth goes from 1 for yellows, 2 for reds, 3 for blues. Then you've also got cow cards, which can range from 3 to 4 value, I think, maybe. I can't remember that much. And then you've got purple cow cards, which range from 5 to 7 points. But they're all worth 5 money, essentially, or value in your hand when you go to market. So when you come to the market, you can use cowboys to buy, and you can use cowboys for adding 2 more cards to the market from a deck. So if you have 1 to spare, you could go, well, I'm going to use that one this turn to add 2 more cows to the market. You can use then cows in this iteration, spending this much cowboys to buy cows at this rate. So you see, the more cowboys you have, the cheaper you can get certain cows. Just as an example, at the moment the only options I have is to buy 1 of the red or blue or yellow cards for 6 money, or 1 of the brown cards for 12 money. But if I get sort of 3 cowboys, I can actually get 2 of these red or yellow and or blue cattle cards for a cost of 5 total, so that is much better. And you can use as many cowboys as you want for that, and that's cattle market. The penultimate tile is this one, and it allows you to sell a 2 white cow card from your hand for 2 money, discard it, and then also now hire up to 2 people, because there's 3 different actions on here. The first time you hire somebody, you will do it at a discount of as a cost of whatever it is on this board, but the second person you hire, if you choose to, will actually cost you 2 extra money. So let's look at the hiring market. This is the options of people that you have to hire, and you can never buy anybody, or sorry, hire anybody in the same row as this token here. So as soon as this gets sort of like ousted by placing another person into the job market, then you can hire anyone from this row. So you'll see the only options at the moment are these two gentlemen at the top. They will cost you 6 money if you were to buy them both in the same turn. One would cost you 6, and then the next one would cost you 8 because of this extra cost there. So that's hiring people. The ultimate tile, the last one in the trail, very similar to this one. It allows you to move one train space forward for every engineer you have, and then it allows you to do a double auxiliary action. So I talked to you about having sort of 3 options when it comes to your turn. The first is when you land on your own or neutral building. You can either do the actions listed on that tile, or you can do a single auxiliary action. So let's say, for example, you got to this space here, you had no money, you had no green cards, so you couldn't do anything. But you always have the choice to do a single auxiliary action. That means that if this was unlocked, you could then still only choose to do a single auxiliary action by gaining 1 coin from the bank, and that's your choice whether to do it. So you'll always get to do something. The second choice you have, if you land on an opponent's building, or a hazard tile, or a TP tile, and that's where you're stuck because you cannot get to a tile, a building that is yours, or a neutral one, then you still can do a single auxiliary action. So that's your second choice. The third isn't really a choice, but it's when you get to the end of the trail. So once you've passed the last building on the trail, and you have to stop, and then you must do the selling cattle action, which is this section here. So when you get to Kansas, you follow the numbered trail. The first number means you take one of these tiles and you add it to the appropriate place on the board. So if it's a hazard tile, you'll add it to the next empty spot from the lowest number. So for example, this would mean if you were to add this, you'd add it to the 2 space. But you might find that there are gaps here because people have emptied it. It will always get added from the lowest number that's actually open. Okay. The second tile is a person, so you add that person of your choice to the cattle market, to the job market, and obviously oust that if it becomes, so you'll fill in from the left to the right, and because we're only playing 2 players, obviously you start each column from this one, and then you fill in from there to the right. The third one is a mix of hazards and people, so you get to choose, and then add it to the board as appropriate. Then the fourth thing you'll do is you'll look at your hand of cards. Now this is my hand of cards here. You get rid of any duplicates, unfortunately, or you get rid of any duplicate cards, meaning that you'd only get rid of, you'd still leave yourself with 1 of any duplicate card. And then what you'll do is you'll tot up, I should say, the value of those cows, and that is how much you are going to sell them for. You at this point have a choice about whether to spend any of your certificates to sort of bump up the value of these cattle, and that'll be your total money that you'll sell. Now then you have the 5th action, and then you discard all of those cards, and then you'll draw a new hand at the beginning of your, actually we'll get to that in a second. The 5th number on the top left there is now you get to choose one of these discs to remove from your board, depending on where you're shipping these cattle to. So you'll see under each city there's a number. If you want to ship to a certain city, your total cow value plus any certificates that you've spent must reach or exceed that total. So Wichita has a number 4 underneath it, so I could, if I'd sold these cows for 5, be able to sell or ship to Wichita, because that's the sort of minimum quality level they need. You take a disc that matches the color of the city, so in this case it's white, but as you get further up the higher value ones, you can also then start taking tokens from the black areas of your board, which are generally better, but obviously that's up to you. And you can always place a white bordered token from your player board and place it on a black city. That's ultimately your choice, and that's why they've got the dotted sort of circle around it, because you can place a white token space, a token from white space there. As I said earlier on, if you complete a neighborly city, so if you filled in Wichita and Colorado Springs, you'd actually take or resolve the sort of bonus or potential penalty that is there. So if I filled those 2 in, there's actually a negative penalty of -1, which you will score at the end of the game. So be careful and plan ahead as appropriate. You would also then lose any money, you'll have to pay any fees for crossing these red lines, and that's why getting your train quite far out is useful. So let's say I wanted to ship to Wichita and I'm here, and because I have to cross 1 red signal to get to Wichita, that's actually going to be 1 money I spend to the bank as like a fee, like a toll. However, if I'm past Wichita, I do not have to pay to go backwards. I've reached that, so I can actually ship to Wichita without paying any tolls. So obviously, the further along you go, you do generally want to have your train further along because it reduces the amount of money that you'll lose from your sale. So let's say I ship to El Paso. Right now, 12 money, but because I have to cross 2 tolls, I'd actually only get 10 money as a result. So you'll always have... this is a great game. Yes, I agree, Time Roller. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. One of my favourite games. I've never played it solo, and I'm just going through the rules. So if you know the rules already, obviously I'm nearly done, but you can sort of like just kind of, not tune out, I guess, but sort of put it on in the background until we're ready to begin. All right, so nearly done. So that's at the end. When you get to Wichita, and then always after you've done your building action or your auxiliary action or shipped all of your stuff and got any money, the final stage in your turn is phase C, which is always drawing back up to your hand size. So obviously if you've sold or discarded any cards during your turn, you'll actually draw back up to your hand size, which starts at 4. You can boost this up, by the way, by spending money and shipping to a black city or a station with a black disc around it, and that can bump up your total hand size to a maximum of 6 if you play it well. So that's the end of the thing you'll do on your turn. Yeah, I think I've done most of it now. I think I've explained it all. Oh, if you ever run out of cards from your deck, you will shuffle up your discard pile and create a new deck, always drawing what you can before shuffling to get a new one. So say you're 2 cards short, you'll draw any cards that you've got, and only once your deck is empty and you need to draw, do you then shuffle your discard pile. Standard deck building rules. There's other things. When you hire people, by the way, from this market, you'll see there are spaces on your board with symbols on it. Well, if you cover up a symbol, you are allowed to do that bonus action, okay? So let's say here, if you cover up this, you get to now, if you have one, a grey 1 Jersey Cow card from your hand, you can discard it to increase your certificate by 1. This one allows you to do the same, but for 2 money instead. This one allows you to immediately hire somebody from the job market for a discount of 2. So it's actually plus 2 to the actual cost of it, which is, that doesn't make sense. It reduces the cost of it by 2. It's weird. I understand the iconography and it does make sense, but it's a bit weird to say it. This one is the same, but for 2, discard a 1 card for 2 a certificate, and this one is discard a 1 card for 4 money. This one allows you to immediately build with a reduced cost. You're only spending 1 money per builder that you use instead of the usual 2. And this one allows you to take a hazard from anywhere on the board. This one allows you to take a TP. Has a bad sputter over it. Okay. I think I have an idea why this is, because I did... that's weird. Let me try... So is it on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is that sputter? Because I don't want to have... I don't want to... Oh gosh. Yeah, how bad on a scale of 1 to 10 is the audio? Because it may be that there's interference with the cable, and I could try and fix it. It might be that there is background noise, so I could just check that quickly. Bear with me. That might be better. I don't know. It's just... I'm going to try and start this again because it's possible that the... Okay, let's try that. I don't know if that's going to be any better. It's not noise. It could just be background sound, I guess. Let me just listen to my own stream in the background. Apologies if you can hear this, by the way. But I do want to make sure the sound is fine. Yeah, I can't hear myself. Am I even in the... Have I muted it? Very weird, because I can't even hear it in the thing now. Let me just try it again. Sorry for this. It's just a fuzzy sort of... Oh, what's that? It's just a fuzzy sort of sounds to me. I can hear you fine. It's line noise, definitely. Okay. Oh, I'm really sorry about that. I did change the position of it recently. I'm going to just try and avoid any interference potentially. I don't know. I do apologise. If it's unbearable, let me know, because I want to make sure that it's nice for you guys who are listening. But anyway, if you are fine, I guess for now, I will carry on. So I obviously want to make sure the gameplay starts. But yeah, it's really frustrating. I could move the microphone where it usually is, I guess. But obviously the risk is then that I have, you know what, might move this. The voice is clear. Okay, fine. Let me just get one thing that might help. There is a lot of background noise in this place just because of being right next to a building site. So there is quite a lot of noise. But I'm going to move the microphone, and hopefully that could eliminate it. Oops. Again, I hope this doesn't make it worse. Okay. I'm going to move this here, and maybe that's better. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay. 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 Let's try that. Okay. Reloading to see if connection error. Okay, Gloria, your voice is clear. Okay, fine. I'm going to just leave it like that, and hopefully that'll be fine. That'll be fine enough, and I don't have to keep looking at the wrong way as well now. So anyway, anyway, thank you for bearing with that. Okay, so let's go into the gameplay. Oh yeah, so talking about when you place one of these tokens down, you get the bonus. And there was something else I was going to mention that I didn't get to earlier on, I don't think. Oh yes, so when you move your train, okay, you will basically move it potentially into stations, and when you move a person into a station, you can get your hands on these Stationmaster Tiles, but in order to do so, you must have a worker in your supply, and that worker will then be kind of replaced that Stationmaster Tile. You, as a reward, get the Stationmaster Tile, and that will give you an immediate bonus. So you see the top here, it actually says that you get to just take a, it's a ground fault noise, a cable is near a power cable or supply. Okay, I will just readjust slightly, because I actually have got enough room now to move my cable back to where it was before, so that might fix it. So there. Right, let's try that. Such drama for a stream, eh? Is that it? Is that better? Oh, thank God. Thank goodness for that. Okay, well, that's going to be really frustrating for anybody who watches this stream later on and is like, oh, I just bored through that whole tutorial with that noise. But at least it'll be like a satisfying reward for making it through. So thank you for that. Okay, lovely. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, the last thing is about Stationmaster Tiles. Stationmaster Tiles do give you a bonus immediately, so this one lets you take a hazard tile or a TP tile from the board, and then at the end of the game you can go score bonus points by completing the sort of conditions listed on the bottom. This one, for example, says for every 2 objective cards I think that you've played, you'll get 3 points. This one over here is every pair of green and blue TP tiles, you'll get 3 points. For every two certificate you have at the end of the game, you'll score 3 points, and that actually counts for this top bit as well, because that's like having a permanent certificate. So that means every time you go to Kansas City, you'll actually bump up your value of your cattle by 1. This one just gives you 2 money and gives you 1 point for every worker you've hired by the end of the game. And this one is a permanent certificate, and also for every pair of hazard tiles you have in the end of the game, you will score 3 points. Okay, wonderful. So now we're ready to begin. The only thing I need to explain is the Automa tile. Now this is new to me. It's probably going to be a case of me learning as I go, and I might have to adjust, refer to rules and stuff, but this is a sort of deck of cards. They will have symbols on here that refer to the expansion, but I have been told that I can ignore those bits and play on as I would normally. So this is like the first card. So I'm going to take my turn, and I probably shouldn't have revealed this card yet, but it's not going to matter too much. But yeah, ultimately the description of the card should be on the bottom, so you should be able to see. And every time it's the Automa's turn, they will take their next turn. As I said, they don't have any money, so if it says for them to do something, they'll just do it. However, this is a good example because this one tells them they're actually going to buy cattle cards for a value of 8 money. They're going to buy cards for 8 money, the best victory points they can get for that. But they will obviously then only be able to use any cowboys that they have. And at the beginning of the game, I set it up, and again I'm just going to tilt it upwards, so you'll see on their track there they've got 2 engineers. And actually, why am I pointing it that way? Because nobody's looking at it from there. As you can see, they have already got a engineer because I decided to start playing on medium mode, and what that means is they will specialize in this. And some actions refer to them only being able to do something if they have specialized in that type of employee. So it might say, oh, if you've specialized in the cowboys, you do this. But ultimately, he's not specialized in the cowboys, so he would not do that action. So that gives me a bit of breathing room. But in this case, he is specialized in engineer, so anytime an engineer specialist action comes up, he will do that. And if he should hire more employees through the game mechanics, that means he gets more cowboys than engineers, then the cowboy would become his new specialty, and that's what this token is being used for, to indicate that. So yeah, we'll just draw the cards, reveal what it says, and then do it, and then his turn, and so on. The game ends as usual, I believe, and if there's anything else that I've forgotten to explain about the cowboy, then we'll get to it later. Alright, cool. So I think that's enough now. We're going to go, and I'm going to take my first turn. So thanks for bearing with me. Let's begin. Let's begin the game. Only like 40 minutes. Cow joke. Why do cows wear bells? I don't know. Why do cows wear bells? Please, more cattle jokes are more than welcome, by the way, in this stream. So, I love it. I really want to know what the answer to this is. While you're coming up with the answer, I'm going to take my first turn. So, my deck of cards, I've got 2 greys, so I need to try and get rid of them because there is a total of 4 greys in my hand, and I think it's like 2 or 3 of the others. I think they even said somewhere on the... does it say somewhere on the board? No, it doesn't. Okay, so yeah, the first actions I have available, by the way, because I can go up to 3 spaces, I can take a TP, which is not worthwhile at the moment, so yeah, I'm not going to do that. I can upgrade a... cattle and move my train forward, which could be good. It could be good. Or I can go up here and sell 2 identical cards for 4 money. And you know what? I've got 2 grey cards. I think that's a brilliant option for me right now, and I'm not going to lose out too much from missing this. So yeah, my first turn is going to go 1, 2, 3, and my first action is going to be to take these 2 grey cards, discard them. I'm going to discard them over here because I don't want to be really obvious, and then my reward for that is taking 4 money from the bank. So I'm already... well, I dropped money on the floor, so that's a good start. But you know what, I'll leave that till later. I've got plenty more. There's only 2 of us playing. So that's my first part of the action, and the second action is to potentially buy a hazard from the board for 7 money. Now, I don't have a lot of money right now, and that would wipe me out to pretty much, well, 70% of it. So I'm not going to take that action. I'm just going to ignore it, and I have to check, actually. I think... am I allowed to take a... oh wait, I'm going to find out the cow joke. The cow... because their horns don't work. Bravo, bravo, that was very good. I'm very pleased with that joke. By the way, you guys have time, hopefully, and access to the internet, so you have hopefully keep me entertained with some cow jokes, but also don't spend them all at once. You have 2 options, either the local actions of that tile. Yes, if you do not perform any of the local actions of the reach tile, then and only then you can do a single auxiliary action. So I do get to do a single auxiliary action, and I'm tempted to just take the money for now because I'm going to draw cards, and there's still options for me to get rid of cards at the moment, and that's quite good for me. So yeah, I'm going to use my single auxiliary action to just take an extra money from the bank. Here we go. Alright, so I'm going to draw up to the end of my hand because I've done phase B. So I get a green card and a grey card. Well, this is very nice. Very nice because, look, all of these cards are unique, meaning that if I go to market now, I'll sell for 7 money. 7 whole bucks. Alright, so that's my turn done. Now it's his turn. Now you see the little symbol on the top left. That's how much space the got to ration the cattle humor. Yeah. Did you take the action? Didn't you take the action? Okay, so I took this action, but this is a local action, and this is also a separate local action. This is why I checked the rules, because if you don't take any of the local actions, then you get to do a single auxiliary action instead. So I did just check that, and I can show you the section in the rule if you want, because I don't want to be accused of cheating. If I'm going to cheat, I'm going to do it way subtler than that. But yeah, if you look at this section here, it says if you do not perform any of the local actions, so most building tiles show 2 different local actions, which is what that indicates, then and only then, oh, if I do not perform any, okay, you know what, you are so right. If I do not perform any of the local actions, okay, so that is what, you're right, I've just cheated, so yeah, I'm going to put that money back. It's a good start, but that's fine. If I don't perform any of them, I thought it meant that in a different way. Like if I chose not to, use any of the actions. But that's fair. That's fair. All right. I'm glad to see if you weren't here, I would have already been cheated and I would not have been good. So no, actually, I'm totally. Yeah, that's why I was confused. But it does specifically say if you do not perform any, of them, which makes sense. But then and only then, yeah. So that makes sense. Okay, anyway, no biggie. So we are going to take this Automa's turn. No worries, you're in good company. Yeah, I know. It's sometimes in big games, there's always like the risk of not getting the rules right, and so it's always like a worry of mine. Anyway, so the top left of that tile says move 2. So we're going to move him 2 spaces along, and he's always going to go the quickest route. He will pay any fees to me, but he will pay any fees. And that will come from the bank, but he just ignores them otherwise. For your first few games, you get so many rules backwards. Yes, but this is embarrassing because I have played this many times. I just haven't played it in a while. I think the last time I played it was possibly a year ago, which is really bad. But that's because like there's so many new games to play. Anyway, it's good. This is why I'm glad you guys are watching. Okay, so he's taken 2 spaces. He's going to now spend 8 money with this sort of ratio to get hold of cows. Use Garth's available cowboys and $8. Buy the highest VP option from the cattle market. Well, he's only got 1 cowboy, so the best he can get is this. Yeah, he can only get this. So he's going to take that, and it's just going to add to his pile. So I'll just put that at the top there, and that's him. That's him done. That's his whole turn, and that's the best he could do. Okay, so now it's my turn again. Yes, I love not having to wait for my turn. So I get to move 3 spaces. Now I do have a green card, and I could build some stuff. Now, if he's going to take the quickest route, I want to profit off of that. So I think that maybe building a building is good. Now, I think this building is pretty sweet because there's no other way for me to get that much money from a white card. So I'm going to buy this. I'm going to build this. So I'm going to move here. So I'm going to sell my white card and hopefully draw another one. But it's a sell, just get rid of it. Not my white card, what am I talking about? Green card, that's the one. So I sell that for 2 money. And now I'm going to do the second action, which is to build a building. And I already told you my plan, which is to build this one. So I'm going to build this, and ideally want it somewhere where I can profit maybe earlier on. So let's go here. Build that there. Because that means that what's good to use it after an auxiliary action, maybe, where you can manipulate it. So potentially here, I guess. I don't know. I'm never good at this. I'll just put it there. It's fine. I don't really think it matters too much in a 1-player game. Okay, so that's me done. I have to spend 2 money for that because I did use a cowboy. So that money goes to the bank, and that's me done. So now it's the Automa's turn. Let's see what he's going to do. Draw next card. All right, so he's now going to move Cattleman well, first of all, he's going to move 2 spaces, so let's move 2 spaces. Now, what I have to check, and this is why I have to check the rules online, is because if he has the ability to, I have to just check something. Bear with me, guys, because I do want to make sure I do this right. Is this based on the latest? I wonder if this is a file. Is this file? No, hang on. Great Western Trail. Oh, no, that was it. That's what I want. 3. That's what I want. I do apologise. I have to log in. I have to log in. Bear with me a sec. This is very unprofessional. I hope you can't see me writing my password. Pretty sure you can't, but let's log in and find this file. I want to make sure I get the rules right for this, because I think that he says he takes the shortest route. Oh, you're not going to log in? This sucks. Okay. I think I'm logged in now. Yeah, there I am. So let's download this. Come on. Oh, it's not letting me download it. How lovely. Okay, I don't understand. I might have to just go onto this. Oh, here we go. Full solar rules reference. Here we go. It's not going to load, is it? It says it goes to the fastest way. Oh, you know what? This isn't loading. I have to go on my phone. I do apologize, guys. Where's my phone? Oh, it's over here. Is it still loading that thing? Gosh. Okay, one sec. Because I did do the rules on my phone earlier on. Oh, it's been apologies. Oh, almost saw my face on the camera there. I downloaded it on my phone, and then I was going to use my phone to watch so you could see me on camera, and I was like, actually no. So now I just completely forgot that I had access to it. So let's just check where I downloaded it. Okay, so with this rules, when it comes to movement, having moved some number of spaces, movement values may change in higher count games. We start. How does he move? Move Garth along the shortest possible path. If Garth crosses one of your fee buildings, take the payment from the bank. Well, it doesn't matter, but I think. Oh, I mean, I think if it's short, then it means I guess I have the option for me to put it on my space, even if it's paying me money. So he's going to go 1. Oh, yep. Let's get the thing back. Sorry about that. I didn't hit that. The very board game etiquette. One guy reading rules, everyone else staring at him. Yes, that is pretty much a lot of my experience playing this game. So playing many games. So he moves 2. So he goes 1, 2, and he's going to, as his action, he's going to move the cattleman's 2 spaces and play branchlet. So that's what we can ignore. So now he's going to upgrade a B-side building using as many of his craftsmen as possible. He prefers new buildings to upgrades. So he has access to 1, and again I can, I've already pointed it up, but he's got access to 1 builder, so he's going to build 1 building. Now all of his buildings are on the B side, not that it matters too much, but I've just stacked them up in sort of like order here, so the 1 is on the top. Now he's going to use 1 building, so he's going to build the new building, and I think he says ties, prefer new buildings to upgrade at the high end and maximize tolls. Well, he's maximizing tolls here, so I think that that's what's going to happen here. He's going to build this in front of me to spite me, but that's fine. We knew that was coming. Well, actually, you can't build it there, so it would have to be here, I guess. New buildings are placed in front of your cattleman. Yeah, so he's just going to build it there, I guess. Okay, not a problem. Still going to have to go there. So that's his turn done. He is not spending any money. He just gains that money and the point and blocks me in the way. So now it's my turn again. Lovely. Okay, so my action. What do I have? Oh, do you know what? I didn't draw back up from last time. I forgot that. Okay, so I've got a black card here, which is perfect because I want to use that right now. So let's go here. I'm going to get rid of a black card to get 2 money from the bank, and I should probably change up to a 5 in a second. And now we can go to cattle market. Now, how much money do I have to spend? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've got 12 money, so I could buy this one. Is it worth it to do it now? I think that I won't do that because I think it's very risky to do that so early on in the game. But what I will do is I'll spend 6 money for this blue card here, because that one is at least more value for money. So yeah, 6 money goes to the bank for that cow, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, and now we are done with my 10, and I feel like I'm happy with that. Let's do the next. Let's do the next cowman card. Right, so he moves Right, so move cattlemen as many spaces as Garth has specialist employees. Now, this is what I was talking about, specialized. He does get to move because obviously this is depending on the number of specialized employees he has, but he's going to move 2 spaces. So he's going to go 1 and then 2. So he's going to land on his own building. If Garth has specialized in engineers, which he has, move engine as many spaces as Garth has engineers, upgrading a station if one is reached, and taking its Stationmaster token if available. Well, luckily he's not there yet, so he's going to go here, and that's 2 spaces for him, and that was pretty good for him. And now it's my turn again. Lovely. I love how quick this is going. Okay, so my turn. I have to pay him money, unfortunately, 2 money, or pay the bank 2 money, but I will be able to go there and sell a white... Oh, I didn't draw my card at the end of the turn. Well, there we go. This is good because I'm going to draw and sell this white card. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and yeah, let's do this. I like to go and do as many buildings as I can in the beginning. So that's 2 money, which is going to go basically straight back to the bank because I have to pay for that. But just to let you know, because I didn't explain it in the rules, but if you... Or did I explain it in the rules? Yeah, you would always do it in order. So movement, any fees that are paid will actually get paid first, and then any money gained from the action. So you actually go through someone's thing broke, and then gain money later on, and you will not have to pay them back. You do not owe them. Okay, so I go here. I've spent that for 2 money. Now I get to hire somebody. Now, I like the engineer's action because it does generally pay off. So actually what I will do is I'll spend my 6 money, which I now have, thankfully, to hire that engineer before he gets to it. So I'm going to hire this engineer, and as a bonus, as you can see here, I'm covering up this... Oh, I should probably point this down because this is more useful to see for the moment. Is that right? Is that fine? Yeah, I think it is. Just a bit... You can see the mess of wires, by the way, I've got over there. Oh, shameful. So yeah, I'm actually going to now use this ability to get rid of a 1 grey card and use this to go down here. So that means I actually gain 1. I've essentially just added that to my total, even if I don't, if I draw another card, which is quite nice. And it means I also get to getting more spaces if I move the engineers forward, which if you look at the next action over here, is exactly what's going to happen. So that's the end of my turn. I will avoid drawing that other person, and I'll draw 2 more cards. Well, this is okay actually. This is actually not too bad. So yeah, that's going to be a total of 6 for me because I have a duplicate white card there, but I do have this potentially. So yeah, that's the end of my turn. Now what's Garth going to do? What is Garth going to do over here? Okay, well he's going to move cattlemen as many spaces as the highest count of buildings among players, which is actually right now 1. So he moves 1 space. Oh, he's going to join me on this tile. Interesting. And now he's going to, if he's specialized in craftsman, which he hasn't, he's actually not going to be able to do anything now. But if he had, he would actually upgrade a building as much as he could, which is fine because that's just like a freebie for me. So that's my turn again. And yes, I'm just going to move right here, and I'm going to do this action. So I have 2 engineers, meaning I move 2 spaces. So I jump over him, which is exactly what I wanted to do. And I get to do an auxiliary action now. The best one for me, I could gain money, but it's no point because I'm going to get some money anyway. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this auxiliary action, which allows me to draw a card and discard one. So if I draw a grey, if I draw a grey card, then it's great. It's not a grey card, but I can choose which one to discard. Doesn't matter. Let's just discard this one. And yeah, that's it. So that's my turn done. And now it's Garth's turn again. So let's see what he's up to. Okay, so it says move cattlemen as many spaces as... Oh, am I charging my phone? I'm going to make sure I'm charging my phone. People, I'm sorry. This is very unprofessional, but I do need to make sure my phone is charging. Because it's going to run out. Live stream phone. Okay, so let's just take that out. Ooh, hope I didn't destroy the stream. I think we're good. Okay, so Garth, what is he going to do? So he says move as cattlemen as many spaces as Garth has cowboys. Now Garth has 1 cowboy, so he moves 1 space. All right, I'll take it. So far, moving quite equally, which is nice. This is actually what I wanted to see. If Garth has specialised in cowboys, which he hasn't, then he would buy something else, but he doesn't specialised in cowboys, so I can ignore that. Alright, so now it's my turn again. I will go and do the first Kansas City Hall of the game. Now, oh yeah, there's one more thing I didn't explain, which we'll get to anyway, because it'll be Garth's turn next. But basically, Garth will always take the top row of these, and these will kind of shuffle up to fill the gaps. So they will cycle through, but it just gives me an indication of what is going to be added to the board. But I get to choose this at the moment. I think that I will take this tile and put it on here, because I don't need it, but it would be nice to sort of like maybe get some money from these spaces. So that's number one. Number two, well, I'm going down the engineer route, and I think having some engineers, which is cheap, is pretty good. Although having said that, he's also going to buy them. You know what, that's fine, because if I buy them, then it means there's more for me to get as well. So that's fine. And then the third action, let's get this. Let's put this on the board. I'm not too worried about cowboys at the moment. That goes there. So now I'm up to here. I now sell my hand of cards. I have a total of 6 because I discard any duplicate cards. So my total is 6. I'll get 6 of that. I have to choose where to sell it to now. So I'll take the money. Actually, I want to take the 6 coins that I had earlier on. I'll take that money, and then I'll choose. I want to be careful here because I don't want to. I do want money, but I don't want to sell to somewhere that I will will punish me later on. I could sell to the place that's Wichita and just try not to sell to Colorado Springs later. I think that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell to Wichita, which could lose me 1 point, but that's actually not bad in the grand scheme. So yeah, I'm going to sell to Wichita. It means it's a white city. The difference between me and Wichita is 1, so I'll take 1 coin away from me as my fee for passing that toll booth. I will take a white disc anywhere from my board. Now I do want to move trains forward, so I think the best thing for me to do right now is do this. So it allows me to spend money to move my train forward if I want. That one I'm usually tempted to because it's a double auxiliary action, but I'm going to do something a little bit different this time. So this goes here. There's no immediate bonus for there like there is with, I mean it's not an immediate bonus, but yeah, I basically place that there and that's me done. So my result now, after I've done that, we will now fill in the gaps with tokens from the pile, which is just off screen. So I'll take a 1 pile, 1 token there, a 2 token, which is this, and then a 3 token, which is this. Oh look, so we're definitely going to get some of those. I go here, I've taken my money, and I go all the way back to the start of the trail again. So that's the Kansas City action. Okay, so now I have to check, because this guy is going to Kansas City next. I don't know if he does an action though, and this is another thing I have to check. So if you'll bear with me just a moment while I read the rules. When he goes to, when Garth, I have to just check this. Okay, when Garth reaches Kansas City, first complete the text on the card as normal. Yeah, so you do the card. Okay, so he's going to move, well, he's going to move 1 space, we know that. That's fine, so he goes here. He is also going to hire the cheapest available employee of any type. Ties specialized employee. Okay, so he is actually going to take this. He's going to hire this guy. He's going to go here. So he's got 3 of those now, which sucks, but it's fine. Then he's going to add all of these top tiles onto the board here. So it goes to 2. Let me take a cowboy, and it's going to add from here. And then he's going to go here. It's going to take this builder, pop that down there. And number 4, well, actually, these slide up. Let's do that now. And then he's going to, well, it doesn't matter. I think he just sells. Actually, it will tell us exactly what to do on this situation. Take this top tile from each of those spaces, sliding the ones up from filling. He does not use cattle cards. He will automatically make deliveries. Now, this is in the rules. It doesn't say it on here, but in the rules it says when you deliver on medium difficulty, the first place he will deliver to is actually Colorado Springs. Now, this doesn't really impact his gameplay, but it does maybe score him points, because from now on he's going to basically just sell to each of these. So yeah, basically that's his starting point, because that was the level of difficulty that I chose. And then basically he will go back to the beginning again. So now we refill the spaces with some more tokens. Number 1 token is this. Number 2 token is here. So we're gonna have a builder next turn, and then 3 this TP tile over here. All right. So it's my turn again. One thing I didn't explain, by the way. When you come to this token, moves down a certain point, there are some yellow lines here. When the token crosses there from this row filling up, the cattle market is refreshed. So that means that we'll fill it back up to the 7 cards that we use in the 2-player game. Same if it goes past here, it's with 7 points. If you push this off the edge, I think I already said, you get the 2 points, and then it means 1 more turn each for everybody, and then the end of the game occurs. So there we go. Now you know. Alright guys, so my turn. Do I want to take a TP? It's only going to get me 2 money and allow me to do a double auxiliary action, which I can't benefit from. However, before we do that, one thing I need to do is fill up my hand, because I'm an idiot and I forgot. Okay, so we've got a green card, a grey card, and another grey card. So it's not a great start, but we could still do the double one. But what I'm really hoping for is if we get a... actually, I could use that engineer and get that station tile. Actually, I don't want that one. I want the other one. I don't actually want that first station tile. I want the second one, because if you can see it, it means it's 1 permanent certificate, which would be really good for bumping up the value of my market at the end. But it also will more likely for me to be able to fulfill that objective, because I don't like doing buying those objective cards and playing them, because they are a pain in the butt. That's just me though. Okay, so this is my hand. My hand to hopefully get a white card. Damn it. Well, we know where we're going now then. We're going to go 1, 2. Oh, we can't get there. Darn it. Well, what I could do is I could just go here and move the train up. I think that's the best thing for me. Yeah, I'm going to go here. So I get to move my certificate up 1. So I'm up to 2 now. And then I'm going to move my trains up by the number of engineers I have, which is actually 2. So I'm going to skip past this Stationmaster Tile, because I don't want it. I don't even want that. So there we go. So Garth's turn. Let's see what Garth is doing. Garth is going to move cattlemen as many spaces as Garth has cowboys, which is 1. So Garth moves 1 space. Blop. If he is specialised in cowboys, which he is not, then we add... Well, it doesn't matter. He's not specialised in cowboys, so that's good. Okay, so that's another good turn for me. Okay, so my turn. I cannot get rid of this. I'm very disappointed to do that, but actually it's probably not the worst idea, just because I don't have enough money to spend in the cattle market anyway. So yeah, I'm going to just move past that, which is very sad to do. I'm going to go right up to here. So this one is getting rid of 2 identical cards. These 2, thank you very much. So let's get rid of those and take 4 money from the bank. You know what? I'm just going to get rid of a 1 and take a 5. Done. Next up is whether I want to spend 7 money to get rid of a hazard. At this point, there's still no reason for me to do that. So yeah, I'm just going to ignore that. Okay, so Garth's turn. Let's see what he's doing. Garth is going to move 1 space and place a branchlet, which we can ignore because there's no branchlets in the game. Rails of the North is the expansion. That's where you use the branchlets, and that is a fantastic expansion. It kind of adds to the game without it being like super complicated, and it makes the delivery aspect a little bit more interesting. So that's quite cool. So yeah, we're going to ignore that. The next thing you do is take the furthest objective from the deck and slide the remaining cards down before refilling. So that's the objectives that you can see slightly above here. So he's going to take this objective, which he is going to score, unfortunately, and then we're going to basically slide these down. That's probably the one I think I could have done, because I don't like taking hazard. I generally end up going for the cows. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but you can see the new one that's been revealed. This one allows you to move your train forward 3 spaces, which we already discussed earlier on, but you need 2 stations, presences in stations, and 2 hazard tiles. Remember, each of those would have to be separate, so you'd have to have 2 stations and 2 hazard tiles to commit to this, and have more hazard tiles if there's other cards that require them. So yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. Okay, so there we go, back down to there, so you can see all my money and my buildings. Okay, cool. So next, that's Garth's turn. Very boring turn, but he did just gain 5 points, so I can't complain. All right, so next up, I will draw my hand back. I always forget to do that, guys. You need to punish me if I forget. Maybe stop me getting more cow jokes if I if I don't do that again. Okay, so that's the first. Well, that's the last thing I should have done. My last turn. I have a green card which I could sell for money and build more stuff. I don't have a black card, so I can't do that. I think, based on the fact that I have a good value of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right now, plus 2 for that, I could get 10. It's pretty sweet. I don't really need 8 though, so I think I can risk taking this and doing this action. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to basically get rid of this green card, so discard it, and for the 2 money that I would have gained, I'm going to instead spend it to build something. Now, let's have a look at these buildings. So I can build and upgrade it to a 2. Now, I like that building there. That one is pretty good for me. Well, the fact is, like, hopefully it'll be useful for me. But I do not want to, so I don't want to cover that up. What I would like to do is build potentially another building somewhere along the trail that I'm not too bothered about this one, so I can use this as a base to upgrade other buildings. And I think the best way for me to use this, if I think about what these actions do, they allow me to do bonus movements and bonus actions. So essentially I could take a hazard and then get a whole other action, a whole other turn essentially. Or I can do a double auxiliary action and then just get a bonus thing. So if I place that somewhere where it would be really useful for me to manipulate cards, actually, this is what I'll do. I'm going to place this right at the end, over here. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I hope to build this on top of it later on. That one allows me to manipulate the cards just before I go to sell to Kansas City, which is a very neat little idea. When cows get sick, what do you call it? What do you call it? I don't know, but I'm glad you did that joke because I almost forgot to do the end of my turn again, which is to draw another one of these. Oh man. Sorry. No, that's good. What do you call it? Sorry. Hey, didn't know GWT had a solo. Yes. Hello, by the way, Iron Spy. Thanks for joining. Yes, so Great Western Trail does not have an official solo mode, but I managed to find one which has been thoroughly done online. Like, it's on its version 3.0. It has lots of good reviews, so I decided to give it a go. So yeah, I'm giving that a go. I will post a link in the chat at the end. Answer, hey FIFA. Oh, that's good. Oh man, I'm easily pleased when it comes to joke, but that one's a good one. Hay fever. What does it? It has hay fever. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, we're kind of doing cow-based jokes. If you want to get involved, even cowboy ones I think would count in this stream. So yeah, please do use those. Yeah. So this is the game I'm playing. As you can see, that little thing next to the chat window. That's the online app that has been created with nice fancy artwork, which is actually really cool. So yeah, it's not an official one, but it is very good so far. Well, we'll see what happens if I beat it. Then we'll fight. Then we'll decide if it's good or not. Okay, so I did my turn. I built. I spent the money. I've drawn back up, so you can keep doing cow jokes now because I've earned them. And then it's Garth's turn. So let's see what Garth is going to do. Garth is going to move cattlemen as many spaces as Garth has specialised employees, which is 3. So he's going to move 3 spaces. So the shortest turns 1, 2, 3. So he's going to go there. And if Garth has specialised in craftsman, which he hasn't, he would do something, but he doesn't specialise in that. So I'm good. I can take my next turn. Now, I don't have a black card, so I actually have to skip the cattle market this turn. But I am going to have to spend money go through this, so I'm going to end with 5 and 9, so I'll have 7 money. Can I afford somebody? I can. You know what, I'm just going to go and pip him to the post with that engineer, and I can sell one of those white cards. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, so I'd spend 2 money to the bank, because as I said, the solo mode, the other player doesn't have any money, they just do actions and they whatever. Then I'm going to sell this Guernsey cow for 2 money, so I'll take that money back. And then I'm going to spend $6 to do the second local action, which is to hire this engineer right here. And as you'll see here, because my engineer is covering up a symbol, and I do have the Jersey cow to do this, I can do that and gain 2 money. So this is a lot of exchanging money in this turn. Which is cool. means I get 5. I should probably put the money like that so you can see it better. So you can see how much I have. So there we go, 5 money. End my turn. I haven't got enough to buy anybody else or hire anybody else. Sorry, it's not buy. So that's the end of my turn. So I'll draw back up to 4 cards. Ooh, look at that. I'm already up to 7. 8. Ah, that's so pretty. That's exactly what I need. So that's that. I will pass it over to Garth. Okay, so Garth is going to move 1 space, which is fine. He's going to go here. And he's going to move engine as many spaces as he has engineers, upgrading a station if one is reached. So I think, I'm not 100% sure, but if he was to go right past the station, I think he would stop there, but I'm not 100%. I will have to check that. Luckily, it doesn't matter now because it's exactly the number of spaces he needs. And upgrading a station if one is reached, taking its station master token if it's available. So he's going to take this little station master token. Just so you can see Iron Spy, there is a little board up there. I only have 2 really good cameras, so I'm just going to have to sort of tilt this up and down. You can kind of get a sense of what his situation is right now. If you're wondering what that is, that just tells me where his specialty is in, which is the most number of workers he's got. So he's going to try and get more of those, but it's possible it could be overtaken by another, in which case the specialty will change, and that will determine whether he can do certain actions in the game. Okay, so right, he's upgraded that and taken its station master token, and I do want to just double check that he doesn't lose his workers. I believe he doesn't. How are you guys, by the way? Are you having a good day? Have you played this game before? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I'm gonna just while I look this up. He does not need to trade an employee who will not score points for it. Yes, so that's correct. He will not. He never played. I'm enjoying learning from you. Thank you very much. If I win, then you'll probably want to take some tips from me. But if I lose, probably want to come up with your own strategy. But I do okay. I do okay in this game. Okay, so he has done the station master. He's taken that one. I am now going to take my turn. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm here. Do I want to stop here and move 3 more spaces? I could go into that station master token space if I get rid of an employee, and then I get to do an auxiliary action space, so I could jump up to Santa Fe. Okay, I'm going to do that. So actually I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. I'm just thinking about that action at the top left. I don't think I want to do that. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to move forward 3 spaces. So red goes 1, 2, 3. Oh, look, I go right into here. So I have to, first of all, resolve this bit. So I have to pay 2 money. So Time Roller says we messed up the rules for the stations several different ways. So don't worry, because I have also messed this up. Now, when I played this game initially, I thought only 1 person could do that. Actually, for the first few games, I thought only 1 person could go to these stations. But actually, the rule that I messed up was only the first person to go there can claim this tile if they have the employee, and they can choose not to. But everyone else can still visit these stations to claim the points. So I didn't know that, so it's fine. That's we played like the first 4 games, I think, before I figured that out. So don't worry, this is a game that has those. Iron Spy says, never played either, but I've seen the game night vid, so familiar. Do you know what? I don't remember them playing this game. I love game night. I'm sort of like friendly with Lincoln. Like we talk quite a lot. Like I often go to his stream now, and he's like, "Oh, hey Russell." So it's really cool. I'm hoping to go. I visited them in California last year. Was hoping to go visit them again this year, but obviously the COVID situation happened, so that's not very fair. But so I love that series. I love the guys on it. They're all really lovely. And I would love to check that video out because I didn't know they did Great Western Trail. Yes, us also. So Time Roll also saw it on. Okay, that's awesome. So anyway, where was I? 2 money. So I'm going to spend the 2 money, which is here. It's going to go to the bank, and that allows me to take. Well, first of all, that allows me to put a white disc, on here. And looking how, well, as I'm about to get the double auxiliary action, I think it makes sense for me to do this. because this allows me to manipulate my my hand just before I go into the next thing. So I'll do that. So I'll place this token there, meaning I get 1 point at the end of the game, which is lovely. Do the discs get placed on the station location? Yes, they do. But you only get this token, the Stationmaster token, if you have somebody to trade for it, which I do. So I'm going to put this token here. That's my permanent certificate bonus. And this means that at the end of the game, I could get 3 points for every pair of green and blue TP tokens that I get in my supply, which I currently have none of. So I've done that. I've paid for it. I now have to place a worker on there to claim that Stationmaster tile. But it is worth it, I think. That guy's going to earn me a lot of stuff. You know what? I don't know, but I have seen it. I think that Shut Up and Sit Down did a playthrough of it, potentially. I seem to recall them doing a playthrough of it. Not 100%. And I don't know who else would have done it. There's not a lot of people doing playthroughs of this game, so it's quite long. Anyway, speaking of which, so I've done that, and my second action is to do this. Now, I may as well, because I'm about to go to Kansas City, see if I can get the green cards to bump up my value by 1. So let's draw 2 cards using this, the double auxiliary action. Oh, look at that, beautiful. So now what I'll do is I will discard the black card and the grey card, and I will put this in my hand instead. So that's the benefit of the double auxiliary action. So I've done that. That's the end of my turn. Let's see what Garth's doing. Garth is moving as many spaces as the highest count of buildings. Now I've got 2, so he moves 2 spaces, meaning he's going to go 1 and 2 and join me over here. And he is specialized in engineers, so he is going to hire an engineer if one is available, but is not, and move as many spaces as he has engineers, upgrading a station if 1 is reached. So he moves 3 spaces. He's going to go 1, 2, 3. He cannot go there, so that's fine. I think I've just picked the right time to buy, and so it says the Automa does not have to put an engineer in the station it took. No, it doesn't. It specifies that in the rules, which isn't obviously on the screen, but I did just check that before because I wanted to make sure. So yeah, if they take a Stationmaster tile, they're not obliged to take and put a token on its space. I, however, do. Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of that. He's moved, he hasn't reached it, and he doesn't take a Stationmaster token, so that's pretty sweet. All right, my turn. I'll go right to Kansas City. So let's go here. Now, first of all, I need to get my hands on a blue one, so I want to make sure the blue supply of TPs is increased. So I'll put that there. Obviously, this one goes here. And the third action, do I want to put a cowboy in? I do, because I want to put the, what does it say? Time. Is this quiet for anyone else? It possibly is. I can upgrade the thing. I can make the gain higher. You know what it is, actually? I'm going to make the gain higher. Okay, don't worry, guys. I'm on it. Let's just check. I can put a thing on it. So propped. I think I can do this. Gain. Let's add gain. Right. Let's do up 5 gain. Let's see how that goes. How is that, guys? Is that better? I can do higher if I want. I just want to make sure that it's not going to be buzzy. I'm going to wait for you guys to respond. Much better. Okay. Wow. We fixed the major audio issue, so did not worry. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's relieving. Yeah, we had a major buzzy sound earlier on, which is a pain, but seems to have gone now. Okay, I can make it higher if you want, if you need it a bit higher. So I mean, I just want it to be good quality, so I can bump it up as high as it will, as long as it's not going to make it all bad quality. I'll try it just a little bit more. So let's go up to like 8 gain and see how that is. Better, hopefully. Oh, actually, I can make it even closer to me because I've got a little. If it doesn't change the audio drastically, I might just put it in the little drawer that I've got. It's a bit random, but if the buzzing's gone, how is that? So that's good too. Okay, so it just keeps getting better. Should I just keep going up the gain until the maximum point? Because it seems like it just only gets better, right? I'm kidding. All right, that'll do for now. But thanks for letting me know, Ross. And hello, by the way. I know you came in and you're like immediately on troubleshoot mode, which I vastly appreciate. But I forgot to say hi, so hi. And hello to everyone else. Thank you for tuning in. It's very kind. Oh, somebody just followed, subscribed. Old Skid Grey. Hi, thanks for the subscription. All right, lovely. So let's carry on. I forgot whose turn is it. It's my turn. So I'm in the middle of this. So I'll take the third tile. Now, do I want to bump up that? I think I do. I want to kind of push. Actually, I talked about blue TP tiles, and he's going to add that anyway. So I'm going to add a blue TP tile here. So I go to here now. Now, what I need to remember is, oh, it says, hello, hello. Sorry to bowl in and backseat audio check, but I know you can never check that stuff once you're live. That is so true. That is so true. No, honestly, that is... like it's I've even weirdly got it on in the background just to try, but it just doesn't seem to be. Oh, the audio is low now. Maybe it's just really low. Maybe that was it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Anyway, okay. So basically, let's carry on. So I'm going to Kansas City right now, which is very exciting. I'm going to make some money. This is my hand. There are no duplicates, as you can see. So I'm going to have a nice, wealthy run here. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But I upgraded my Stationmaster Tiles so I can have actually an extra 10 here. So I've got 10. I could go and sell now to Albuquerque, which means upgrading a black token space. So I could either upgrade my hand size or I can move forward more spaces. And I could even bump it up to 12 if I want. But I like to save those for emergencies. Emergencies where I don't get good hand size. Focus on cattle times. Yes. Cattle times are best times. If you want to join in, by the way, Chris and Lindsay have been coming up with very good cattle-related jokes, or even cowboy-related jokes are welcomed. So please feel free to chime in with those. This will be a very fun experience for everyone who's watching this on my YouTube channel later. But yeah, keep calm and herd cattle, indeed. So let's talking of herding cattle. All right, so. We've got 10, so I think that's it. We're not going to use this certificate, so that's 10 bucks. 10 bucks total, so I'll take that, 10 bucks, and that will go into my supply there. The next thing I'll do is go to ship it to Albuquerque. Now my train is going to have to cost 1 toll booth to get there, so I actually have to spend 1 money to go back. Oh, we've got a new joke. I'm going to save that for when I finish this turn because I often forget what I'm doing. And then I get to upgrade. Now I think, because I have a decent amount of money right now, the best thing for me to do is to upgrade my hand size. So let's do that. Let's upgrade my hand size. Take this token, place it in Albuquerque, and let's spend that 5 money to do that. So I've got 7 money, and now that's the end of my turn. So what I will do is I will do the last thing on my turn, which is not only to fill these back up first of all. Let's do that. And number 2 over here. And number 3 over here. And we'll refill my hand. So we've got 5 cards. What am I talking about? All right, while I'm shuffling this, it's a perfect time to go back to jokes. All right. What do you call sleeping male cattle? Bulldozers. Boom-ts. That's good. 2 toll booths. Do I? No, because I sold Albuquerque, which doesn't actually pass that one above it. So it is actually just 1, I think. Oh yes, you mentioned that up anyway. Gosh, there's so much. Okay, I tried learning how to herd cattle, but I didn't have the motivation. Brilliant. Motivation. Why didn't the cow speak up? It was a moot point. Great one. There's so many jokes. I love it. That's a Ross original. You're welcome. Oh, well, thank you very much for debuting it on my stream. That's actually super kind. I love having exclusive jokes on the channel, and I encourage more. All right, so that's enough shuffling. So let's draw my last hand and my last card. It's a green. Where's the green card? Okay, there. Well, I could always sell it there anyway. It's fine. Okay, so we're back on Garth's turn now. Garth's turn. I'm always blue, so I was looking at the blue train. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, red. I just pick whatever color, and I think that's actually good for that very reason, because it doesn't means you're never like focusing on the wrong color. Okay, so Garth. Let's have a look what Garth's doing. Well, we know what he's going to do anyway. He's going to go to thingy probably. Move 2 spaces. Place a branchlet. Move his engine as many spaces as he has engineers. Upgrading a station if one is reached. Well, he's going to go first of all to Kansas. He does do the action on that, so he's going to move 3 spaces. So this is going to go 1, 2, 3. Doesn't reach that one, which is good because it means it gives me an opportunity to do it. Although having said that, I haven't got enough engineers to get there in 1 turn, so he's probably going to get there before me. Okay, So he is now going to resolve his action. Well, he's done that. So yeah, he takes the top tiles. So he adds that to there. He adds this to here. So now we're almost halfway through the game. Not really, but we will be soon. And then these will now slide up before I forget. Number 4, it doesn't matter. He just always sells to the next space up. So there we go. He's going to sell to Santa Fe. He doesn't care about money, so he just does that. And he comes all the way back down here again. Actually, he's going to go back behind me in the queue. Okay, so my turn again. Now, let's have a look at my hand. I've got 2 green cards, a black, white, and a grey. So this one is pretty good right now because it's going to get me 8 money. And I did say I wanted blue TP tokens, but a green one is also good because of this token here, which allows me to... Oh, actually, sorry, you can't see my hand, guys. I just need to tilt that down. So, that's probably fine. You can just about see the objective cards as well. Actually, I could probably even do something neat like this. I could zoom it out a little bit more so you can see more. I don't know if that's going to be useful, but let's try it. It does mean you get to see more of the behind the scenes though. All that wires in the background, so let's just do that. Okay, fine. So, my turn, I'm going to move here. I am going to do this. And actually, let's see if I can shuffle around my card sum. Do I want to... Oh, perfect. This is what I'm going to do. I've just spotted a nice little strategy, which I'll get to in a second. Okay, so first things first. Let's move MOOVE for those listening. This, so I get 8 money. That's a lot of money, by the way. So 8 money right in my bank account. Here we go. Look at that. This luscious amount of money over there now. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my double auxiliary action. Now you might be thinking, why did I take that token? Well, I need to get access to a blue one anyway to satisfy my objective. But also now, instead of moving the train forward here, the reason I ignored it is because I can do it here anyway. And it will allow me to push forward 1 space, meaning if I can get here before he gets to move his station, I can actually now go and take that next Stationmaster Tile, which actually benefit me the most, because it'll immediately give me 3 points. Okay, cowboy joke. Why did the bow-legged cowboy get fired? I don't know. Why did the bow-legged cowboy get fired? Let me resolve this. So I'm going to spend 1 money, because I'm plush with cash right now. So I'll spend 1 money. And I'll move my train forward 1 space. There we go. Now we're up to Santa Fe. So I can get 2 spaces by next turn, as long as I can beat him there. Because he couldn't keep his calves together. That's actually good. Did you find that one yourself, or did you come up with it? That's really good, that, actually. It's got like a double level to it. I love it. Okay, so let's see what Garth's doing. Now we're praying that he's not going to draw a card, which means he moves his engineers forward. Which it doesn't look like it does. Move Cattleman 1 space. Oh, he's going to join me. He's just copying is what he's doing. Google. Oh, no, that's fine. I appreciate it. It was very good. And I think that also shows you have a high quality filter for the jokes. So saves me from looking them all up and having to decide which ones are worthy of my attention. Okay, in the section with the most hazard tiles, remove the highest victory point tile. Well, that would be this section. And actually, he's just... Oh, no, it's this one. Well, in a tie... I'd guess it'd be this one. He's always going to give himself the most points. Okay, fine. Well, that's fine, because it means it's 1 space free. Okay. It is my turn. Okay, so I'm going to go here to bump up my cattle by 1 again, my certificate, because I don't want any of those objectives right now. And I now get to move 2 spaces forward, which means I can sneak in here ahead of this guy. First of all, spend 4 money to place a token there, which is a white token, and you know probably which one I'm going to take because it makes the most sense right now, is take this token here and place it in here. So I get 2 victory points. Second thing I'm going to do, who are you playing with? So I'm playing against the Automa, which is the solo mode that has been created for this game. It's not an official mode, but it has been highly received. Thank you for following, by the way. That's very kind. So yeah, basically this is the Automa mode. You'll see the little deck of cards next to the chat box on screen. That one is basically telling me what the Automa action is, and it's a website. So you can just go on the website and you can play against. And I think this actually works with multiple players. There's also an app called GWT Automa, which you can download on Android, and that basically has the same thing on a phone, but obviously for the purposes of the stream, it makes sense. Ross says, what did one cowboy hat say to another? You wait here, I'll go on ahead. Bravo. I'm going to give you a round of applause for that one. I should have a reaction button that allows me to like react to good stuff. Yes, I am in the UK. I am based in London, but I have a slight tinge Welsh accent in the voice, in case you're wondering. Okay, cool. So that's my turn done. I've done that. Oh yeah, I have to spend my engineer. So he's going to go in here and take up that space, which gives me this, meaning now I've got 2 permanent certificate bonus. Yeah, London calling, indeed. So that is the end of my turn. I've now hired those guys and I've put them to work at the stations just to pip him to the post. But it does mean that these 2 tokens mean that I actually have a permanent +2 certificates. Every time I go to Kansas City, I can sell it for 2 more guaranteed without spending them. And because of this, these 2 itself are worth 3 points. So I'm in good stead at the moment. Okay, so that's the end of my turn. Let's see what Garth is doing. Garth is going to move 1 space. So he's going to go all the way over here. And they are going to remove the highest value TP. Well, that's fine. So you remove that and you'll take it. You'll add it to his collection. I'll show you that. If anyone wants me to tilt the camera up or down just to see the cards, by the way, it's easy for me to do that. So let me know. Okay, so there we go. So yeah, now the end of my turn, I didn't have to draw cards, so I'm on my turn again. So now I can go here and I can sell this for 4 and I can buy some cattle. So let's do that. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to sell the Guernsey card for $4, which is my special building. So only I get to use that. So let's put this $4 here. And then what I'm going to do is go and spend that money in the cattle market. Now, I could spend $12 and buy this card here, but actually I don't want to. What I want to do is just take this home because it's nice to get early on in the game. It's still going to give me a point at the end of the game, but hopefully pay off because this one is a good value card and I've got a hand size of 5 now. So yes, I'm going to buy that one and that costs me only 6 money. So it's worth it in my opinion. Because it's only 2 points for an extra 6 money. I was like, yeah, it's probably fine, but I'd rather this. Okay, so the next action is Garth. So let's see what he's going to do. Garth is going to move 1 space. He's very slow this turn. If he is going to hire another specialized employee if available, or the most numerous employee if not. So he's going to hire the builder, I guess. So yeah, he's going to hire the most specialized employee, which there are none of. So he's going to hire the cheapest of the employees of the most numerous one, which is this. So yeah, he's going to basically take a builder. Okay. Yeehaw! I love this game. Hi, Girls Game Shelf. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, I love this game as well. One of my favorite games ever, and I never played it solo before, so this is actually really exciting, learning how this game works. So yeah, if you have any questions, by the way, feel free to ask, and if you want to chip in, the chat has been getting very much involved in cowboy-related jokes, so feel free to do that. But this game is going to be a little bit longer, so try and space them out. Don't use up all your jokes too early on, otherwise you'll have none left for the end of the stream. Okay, so he's done his turn, so now it's my turn. So what am I going to do? Now, ahead of there, I got 2... Oh, I didn't draw at the end of my turn. Oops. Now, this is perfect, because look, I've drawn 3 green cards, and the next space allows me to sell 2 cards for $4. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to sell those 2 green cards. Oh, no, I got another, like a nice pun there. Bring us your cow jokes no matter how utterly ridiculous. Now you've planted the horny toad in my head. That's on you. Oh, gosh. What have I done? I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. Anyway, did I take that money? I don't think I did I? I sold the things, but I didn't take the money. So 1, 2, 3, $4. That's great. So there you go, $4 there. I'll make sure to spread them out so you can see them. And the next thing I'm going to do is whether I want to spend money on a hazard. Now, I actually think I do, because one of my objectives is to get hazard. Now, I could miss out on hiring employees later on, but I think there's still... I think I'm not going to probably do that this turn anyway. So yeah, actually, I'm going to wait to see more. Oh, do you know what I didn't do? I didn't fill this up. Didn't fill this up last turn. So I don't know what I'm playing for. but it's fine. Okay, so there we go. And oh wow, where are the engineers? Ah, there they are. Okay, so I sold those. I'm going to spend 7 money on a hazard, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could spend all of these, leaving myself with 5 money. I think that's fine. I think it's fine. So let's spend this, because I do want to... what am I doing? Oh, it's fine. I've done it now anyway. 7 money, and I'm going to take the 3 victory point. Now, that might be useful for me, because it opens up this spot here, and just in case something happens. But I'll take that, because it's going to go on towards... helping me achieve my objective over that. Alright, so that's the end of that turn. I'll refill my hand, because I always forget to do that. So I've got this, and I've got this. Alright. Okay, so that's the end of my turn. Let's see what Garth is doing. Reshuffle deck. Okay, so let's reshuffle the deck. FYI. Oh, thank you for letting me know I'm on 69 followers. That's amazing. Now, I kind of don't want more followers, but I also really very much do. So if you could screenshot that for me, so I'll always remember the best number of followers, because I can't do it myself right now. Thank you. All right, so then Garth is going to move 1 space. I don't have near enough terrible cow jokes. I feel like something is missing. It doesn't have to be cow jokes. It can be cowboy jokes. It can be like mid-America jokes. It could be ranch jokes. It could be engineer jokes. It could be building jokes. Whatever you want. Whatever you want. Native American jokes, if there are any. I don't know if they are good. They're probably not. But if you come up with a good one, please do. Anyway, so Garth is going to move 1 space. So again, copycat. And then place a branchlet, which again we ignore because that's just for the expansion. And then he moves as many spaces as Garth has engineers, which is currently 3, upgrading a station if 1 is reached. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm not too bothered about the stations anymore, really. It's just points at the end of the day. I've got what I needed. Okay, so he moves it, doesn't upgrade anything, that's fine. Alright, so that's it, my turn again now. Okay, so my turn. Do I want to go here and sell the green card, or do I want to go here and sell the black card to get another cow? Well, I won't have enough if I do that anyway, because I'd be duplicating that. I will go here and I'll build. Yeah, so actually I'm going to go here. I'm going to sell this green card here. The Dutch belt. There must be a joke in Dutch belt, guys. Like, Dutch belt, come on. I can't think of one off the fly, but maybe I'll keep thinking about it as I go. So I sell that, gets me 2 money, but what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to just let that money stay in the bank, because I'm going to upgrade this right here. And this one is going to go right at the end. Oh, wait, no, I can't do that yet. I think I've messed up. Oh, no, I can do that. I don't know why I thought that was the number of points. So I've upgraded 1 level from a 1 to a 2, and as you can see, that one is very nice, because it means if I get to the end, I can actually spend an action just to manipulate my cards, or if I carry on with this rubbish, I'll probably go there, draw 2 cards, and just use the best hand that I've got, and then get to move on to Kansas City right away. So that's very sweet. Okay, so yeah, that's the end of my turn. So I'll draw back up to 5 cards, leaves me with a white card. A Guernsey cow. Alright, so that's it. Garth's turn. Let's see what Garth's doing. Garth is moving as many spaces as they have cowboys, which is 1, and they'll take the shortest route, which is this way. They will now, if they have specialized in cowboys, they are not specialized in cowboys, so I can just ignore. So that's another nice turn for me. Okay, so now do I want to go and spend this? Now I will 7 money, and again I said I don't really want to do that. So if I go ahead, I'll have to spend 2 money because I'm going to be passing. Do you know what? I just realised I should have taken this, because then it meant that I could just give money to the bank instead of giving it... Well, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have money. What am I talking about? Doesn't make a difference. All right. Although if I had done another hazard later on, it could have meant that space, that trail was free. Meaning I don't have to lose money then. But it is what it is. What I will try and do is I will hire some more people. I'll hire a cowboy, actually. So if I go 1, 2, 3... So essentially, I'm going to sell a white card, and that money that I will have gained will actually just go straight to the bank there, so I don't have to take it. So I take that, and I have 5 money, which allows me to hire this gentleman here. Now he's a builder, which is fine, because I will have somebody to put in the station if I get there. And building's always pretty nice because it means you can upgrade more. And it seems like I have put a lot of buildings on the board already, so that's fine. So that's the end of my turn. So let's see what Garth is doing. Garth is going to move as many spaces as the highest count of buildings among players. Now, is that two? I am curious now. Does that mean highest count of buildings among players? I have to check this because it's not really clear for me. Let's have a look. It says about movement. It'll be up here. So, to make his delivery, blah blah blah. Action is specialized. Garth section. Move some number. Movement values change in higher player count games or based on the state of the board. It doesn't say, frustratingly, so I'm going to assume that the number of buildings is the 2 because I only have 2 buildings technically. So that's what I'm going to go with. So yeah, he's going to move 2 spaces. So he's going to go 1, 2. And if he is specialized in craftsman, which he is not, then we can ignore that action. Okay, so now, do I want to... well, it's only going to move me 1 space, so I think what I'll do... Oh, I forgot to draw at the end of my turn again. Damn it. Well, I definitely need to manipulate these cards, so what I think the best thing for me to do is to go up to here and try and move through and get some better cards. So let's have a look. I'm going to use my double auxiliary action on this space here, so I get to draw 2 cards. That's a good one, and that's not a great one. That's fine, and then I can discard 2. So let's just discard these 2 because it doesn't matter. And there we go. Now I have a extra action because of this, means I can move 1 space forward and I immediately get to do this. Now where do I want to add this token? I think I want to add it here. Brilliant, okay. And then what do I want to hire? I want a kind of cheap-ish, well there's already cheap ones of those, so I think maybe let's add another cowboy over here. And then the next one I'll add is the engineer, because it really doesn't matter. I don't think I wouldn't like to have them on the board. Okay, so that's me done. Let's refill them now because I always seem to forget. Number 2 over here, and then number 3 over here. Apologies for the clumsy placement, by the way, because I know that would be right annoying for some of you. And there we go. So now I get to the end of the line. Got to sell my cows. Unfortunately, did not have such a good turn this time. I have get rid of the duplicates, which is these 2, meaning that I have a total, unfortunately, right now of 5. However, if I can get up to 8, I think I will do that because I think I don't want to have a really bad round. So yeah, I'm going to 2, 3, 4, 5. I do have 2 permanents, so I actually am on 7, meaning I can actually spend one of these certificates to bump it up to an 8. So I get a total of 8 value. So as a result, I'm going to take the 8 coins. So there's 7, and then there's 8. What I'll do now is I'll look at the board state, and I will now not have to pay any fees because backwards does not count. So actually I don't pay any fees. However, now I have to remove a disc from my board, which must be a white bordered disc because of where Santa Fe is. Let's do this one. It might not be a bad idea to try and advance that down. Now you see we've both placed a token on here. Because I'm placed a token, I think they should have taken one of these objectives whenever that happens. I'm going to put it sideways because I don't know if that counts, but we'll just assume it does. And then this means now, because I've completed the two cities next to each other, Santa Fe and Albuquerque, I do have to take an objective now. So I'm going to look for one that allows me to, likely that I'm going to be able to complete it, which is probably this one. But I also really want one that allows me to potentially get a good action as a reward and also a lot of points. So actually I think I'm going to choose to take this one instead. So that one goes into my discard pile, and if I draw it and I play it from my hand, which I can do on my turn, then I get to use that, which would be quite nice because I could race ahead there. So this goes here, and then let's move this here. Okay, so that's the end of my turn. I've taken the money, I've placed the token. Now I will draw back up to my hand size, which is 5. And here we go. So now I'm going to shuffle cards. If anybody is wanting to give me any tips, I know this is taking quite a while, but I'm going to try and brush through it. Oh, while I'm shuffling, I should let Garth take his turn, so let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to move 2 spaces, which means he's actually going to go all the way to Kansas City, and he is going to build or upgrade a B-side building using as many of his craftsmen as possible. Now he has 2 craftsmen, so he's always going to prefer to do a new build, it says. No, build or upgrade a B-side building. He always wants the highest, most points. Ties. Prefer new buildings to upgrades. Build or upgrade. Ties. Prefer new buildings to upgrades. Okay, so he's going to want to put a new building. So he's going to put a level 2 building. Actually, let's check that. Because that's always something I don't want to mess up. When it comes to building, Garth builds and upgrades buildings according to the number of craftsmen he has. When building new buildings, they should be placed in the next empty non-risk space in front of your kettleman, which may be at the start of the trail. He will always use the B-side buildings and will select his action according to the following criteria and order. Only consider options which use as many of his craftsmen as possible. Would rather build a new building than upgrade one. If there are options for both, which make the best use of his craftsmen. Yes. If he is going to upgrade, he will upgrade at the high value buildings first. Okay, so we can pretty much assuming, I am finding it very satisfying, to be honest. Right now, it's just really good. So it has put in front of me, so this is going to go here, by the way. The non-risk space, so I'm assuming that's a risk space. Yeah, the solo mode's great. It's really easy to follow, as you can see, like that card there on the left. That's literally it. They don't have to keep track of money, so they're ultimately like you can assume playing optimally, and they don't always have good stuff they do on their turn, which is kind of nice because it gives you a bit of breathing room. But obviously I don't know for sure how good it is until I've actually finished and being able to see the sort of scores at the end. I feel like I'm playing pretty well right now, so I can assume that if I'm beaten, then I'm playing on medium difficulty, by the way, and the only difference between medium and others is the starting city where they start. So they will start from Colorado Springs on medium difficulty. They'll start on Wichita on a lower level difficulty, and then they'll always build the next one up. And then the higher difficulties even start even further on. And the other difference is how many workers they start with on their board. So if you're playing on the easy mode, they don't have anything other than the printed workers. And if it's medium, which I am, you draw one at random, which was the engineer, and they start with an engineer on their board. So it just means it's like they already have a little bit of a head start. But yeah, I'm really loving it. I think it's a really good mode so far. But obviously, I'm reserving my ultimate decision until I've actually finished the game, which I should crack on with. So yeah, they've built that. They've placed it the first non-risk space, which unfortunately for me has a hazard on it. So it means I'm going to have to spend money now every time I go past that. Luckily, this is empty, so wonderful. And then they are going to... so actually, I didn't finish shuffling my cards, so I'll do that quickly. Anyway, Garth is going to build, which he's built, and new buildings are placed in front of your cattleman. Yeah, that's fine, because I actually should be down here. Silly me. And let's draw the last 2 cards of my hand. So I've got a black card and a white card. Okay, so I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right now. Well, 10 with those. Anyway, okay, so then he's going to place all of these. So this one goes here. This one is going to go here. And the cattle market refills now because that's what that crossing that yellow line means. So let's push those up and let's do that now. The cattle market, so we fill up to 7. So I'm going to 4 cards at the moment. So we've got a 5. Nice. Number 6 is another yellow card. So let's pop that there. And number 7 is another brown card. So here we go. Actually, I can move these over a little bit. So I really want that red card because that'll give me a red, a blue, and a yellow. And I won't double up on those. I can use them all. Okay, so he has done that. Next up, he's going to go to the next space along, which is Albuquerque. And he does take, it looks like, a objective card. So it's going to score him another 3 points. And these fill up. I've got 2. Oh, you can see that's just good. Okay. And this one fills up. Oh, that would be nice. All right, cool. So Then he goes here, nothing to worry about. It comes back all the way down here. We'll fill these tokens in, starting with 1, then a number 2, and then, oh, is it going to be a building? No, it's almost going to be all builders. Okay, so my turn now. What am I going to do? I've got well, I've got a white card, so I could go there and that. Now, do I want to do this? I'll get 4 money and a blue TP, which will actually help me complete my objective, which is quite nice. So I think maybe that. It will also allow me to do a double auxiliary action, which means I could potentially get rid of some of these cards, but I'm not too bothered about that. So the question is it worth me to get 4 money and kind of take an extra turn to move along? I am going to say that right now, I think I can get rid of those 2 black cards up there. So I think, well, I do need the blue TP though. I do need it. That will help me complete my objective, which is 3 points. Although I don't lose them if I don't get it, but also potentially worth it for me there as well. I think I'll do that. I'll just take a risk. I'm going to do here. So I take that blue TP token, gives me 4 money. So let's just take 4 money. Here we go. I need to go to rustle up some lunch before I launch into a busy afternoon. Have a fantastic evening. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, thanks for the final farewell pun. That was very good. And actually my name is Russell, so that works on another level as well. So yeah, thank you so much, and have a good evening yourself. Afternoon, and hope everything goes well. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to do this, done that, taking the 4 money. My double auxiliary action is probably going to like spend money to move my train, actually. That's probably what I'm going to do. Alright, so spending those 2 money, and then I'm going to go forward 2 more spaces. 1, 2, nice. Okay, perfect. What's Garth going to do? Garth is going to probably do exactly what I do. That's what he's used to, isn't it? Okay, so he's going to move 1 space, and then he's going to take a TP token. Look at that. I knew it. He exactly what I did. Okay, well, it looks the TPs have gone right down now. Anyway, that's it. That's all he's done. And my turn again. So I'm going to go 1. I don't think there's any point in me going there right now. 2, I think there is here, though, because I'm going to get that red card. So let's sell this Guernsey cow. Ooh, this should be here for the sake of it. So sell that for 4 money. Well, let's just put 1 back and take a 5. That's better. And then I'm going to buy this. Now, how do I buy this? I've got 1 cowboy, so it costs me 6 money. $6. All right. And it goes into my discard pile. So that's a brown Swiss cow that is now mine. All right. That's my turn done. So let's see what Garth is doing. Garth is going to move 1 space. He's going to go the shortest route. So he's going to go down here as well. He is not... Oh, hire another specialized employee if available. Well, he is going to buy that. So he's going to take this gentleman and he's going to place him there. All right. I don't think you do any of the things underneath the tile, but I'll check. Let's check for the hiring action. Okay. When you hire, options. It doesn't say, so I can assume that he doesn't do anything. Wait. Yeah, doesn't say anything about it, so I can assume that you don't actually do anything. Okay, so his turn is done, I think. Yeah, he's hired somebody. That's great, and that's his turn done. Okay, so my turn. Oh, I didn't draw again. Silly me. Well, that's perfect, because actually I want to sell both of those cards over here. So let's sell these 2 for 4 money. So buy Jersey cows. We're going to do this again. We're going to put 1 over here and take 5. And do I now want to spend 7 of those monies to take a hazard off the board? There is a hazard that's worth 4 points. 7 money for 4 points seems reasonable when you look at these. 6 money for 3 points. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I also need another one anyway for my objective here. So I will do that. 7 money, and I'll take this one off the board. So I'll get that, and that's worth a nice 4 points. Lovely. Okay, what's Garth going to do? Garth is going to move 1 space for every cattlemen for every specialist employee. So it's going to move 4 spaces. Holy moly. That's scary. It's ramping up for them now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. And what does he do now? He has not specialised in craftsmen, so he doesn't build anything. Alright. Oh, fun Jersey cow fact. Their milk has a high butterfat content of 4.84%, which is 25% more than average milk. So that's why you see Jersey cow milk, and I also think Guernsey cow milk in special bottles in supermarkets sometimes. And you can see it looks more like cream. But I did not know that. I like this though. Keep the facts coming. That's awesome. I love that. We can learn as well as learn. Learn the game as well as learn some facts. Okay, so they don't get to do that action. My action. Oh, I didn't draw again. I always forget this. Okay, so let's draw 2 more. Oh, okay, so at this point, I could play this. I could play this on my turn, which I think I will, because it just lets me move 3 spaces. It'll be 1, 2, 3. Yes, I'm going to do that. But first, do I want to sell a green? Well, I can't get the green card. And that's the thing, though. If I want to build, and now's a good opportunity to build. Let's have a look at my buildings. So you can see the buildings here. I can upgrade that 2, which is quite nice where it is. Or I can upgrade that 1 over here to a 3, which means that I can sell a black card to go 2 up on here and gain 1 money for every engineer that I've got. Alternatively, I could build this one in a new space, and that one allows me to take hazards off the board for cheaper and take an extra action for up to 2 spaces. Fun cow fact, cows have 4 legs and say moo, just as good as as Chris and Lindsay. I think that's true, but some of them probably don't have 4 legs, and we don't want to discriminate, Ross. And also, that's led me to say, have you noticed that different countries have different noises written down, and even verbally, different noises for animals? So I can't think of an example, but we say like bark for a dog, right? But others say rough, and others say like other things. And my partner would be really good at telling me what like other things they say in French, because I think even goats and cows and stuff, they're all different sounds. But it's interesting because I never knew, but I understand they always do that moo sound. I probably shouldn't have done that. My bad. Okay, so where was I? Yes, now I decide whether I want to build without spending a green card on that action. You know what? I'm fine with the buildings as they are at the moment. I think it's probably... I can't get any cows from that though, so my option would be I probably should build. And cool and interesting fact. Yeah, it is. I agree. It is a cool fact. That's quite a big difference as well. Meaning, I wonder why that is. Is it because of their diet, maybe? Just a guess, but that would be my understanding. Anyway, I'm going to go here. Wait, if I go there, and I can go 1, 2, 3 next to them, so I can potentially... Or do I just sell this for 2 money and not build anything? And then I'd have money to buy one of those cowboys over there, which is actually not a bad idea. So actually I think I'll do that. I'm going to do that instead. So what I'll do is I'll play this. So I play this means that now I have to complete that by the end of the game, or I lose points. So I'll put that over there. It's going to be quite tricky to keep track of those, but anyway. So I play that, and it does mean I move my train forward 3 spaces. The thing is, do I want to go to that space there? Which I could, if I use my builder, gives me 2 money, or do I want to race forward for that other one? I think I want to race forward. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sell a Black Angus for 2 money, and I'm going to end my turn. I'm not even going to go to cattle market because I don't need any of those, and I can't afford the ones that I want. So that gives me 3 cards, meaning I draw 2 more. So there's another Black Angus and a Dutch belt. Dutch belt, here we go. Alright, you may buy these cowboys, but you'll never own their hearts. You don't know that, Ross. You don't know that. You don't know the story. Alright, so it's Garth's turn. Speaking of cowboys to fall in love with, Garth, you're up next. Move Cattleman 1 space. Go here. And in the section with the most hazard tiles, remove the highest victory point tile. Well, there's a tie here, but obviously he's going to take this one. This way for more. Okay, so that is the end of his turn. So that's my turn. So I'm going to move forward through here, which means spending money, unfortunately. Spending 2 money to go there. Meaning, actually, I don't think I can afford, unless I can sell a white card, which I don't have. I can't afford those. Well, that sucks. So maybe I'll just move forward. So I go 1, 2, and I could go here, which is pretty good anyway, because it means I can go into here, and I'm not going to have enough money. I think I can do them in any order. So I could potentially use this to gain the money, and then spend that 6 money to go in there and take that. That's what I'll have to do, unfortunately. So yeah, I can do these in any order I want, I believe, unless somebody can correct me, but I'm pretty sure I can. So I will take the 1 money by doing this single auxiliary action. To be fair, I could have just stopped before and waited till my next turn, but I don't want to risk him getting that. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Then I'll do the action which allows me to move 1 space for every engineer I have, which is 1, and it moves me in there. And that is my token, which I will take from... Ooh, okay. I'm going to do this, actually. I'll take this one, because it gives me 3 money, which, actually, I don't need that. I think I'll do this instead. I'll just do the one that gives me 3 points. So I wish I had more money. And then I'll spend the $6, and that allows me to place that in there. And, as a final hurrah, I'm going to go here, switch this builder, and take this token, which is my 3rd permanent certificate upgrade, which is awesome. And now I'm pretty much set for any of those big cities up there. So yeah, I did want to upgrade that, but I just didn't have the money at the time. But it's fine, because there'll be options to do that again, I'm sure. Okay, so that's the end of that turn. Now it'll be Garth's turn. Let's see what Garth's going to do. Garth is going to move 1 space for every of his specialized employees. Well, good news is he can't go too much further, and he's going to end up in Kansas City, but he still does the action. If he's specialized in engineers, moves many spaces as Garth as engineers, upgrading a station if 1 is reached. Well, he's going to go here, basically, and upgrade this. So he takes that, and he's going to put a token in there, I think, actually. Actually, yeah, he might have been able to go into those ones. I think he did go into that one, didn't he? So he's definitely going to get that one. I think I might have missed up there. I think he would still go to those stations even if he doesn't have the person. So I think that what I might have to do is just, hopefully I haven't messed up. I can always look back over the video at the end and see actually what would have made a difference. But let's just assume that. I think it makes it more competitive if he's kind of pushing me for that anyway. So we'll carry on. All right, so he's at Kansas City now. He's going to take this token and he's going to pop it up there. He's going to take this token and pop it here, and then he's going to take this token and pop it here. And these all shift up, and I will fill them in because I always forget. Otherwise, I will forget, I should say. This go here. Where are all the engineers? I mean, he keeps buying them up, but surely there must be more in there somewhere. He goes here. He's going to upgrade his next thing, which is going to give him 6 points. Going to go up here. Bam, he comes back all the way down here. Now he's ahead of me. So now it's my turn. And I think I may as well, because there is a chance that I could draw another card. I think I will do this. So I'll go here, and I will do the double auxiliary action, which means drawing 2 cards. So let's see. I just want a white card, I think. Yeah, look at that. Lovely. So I take that. I will get rid of the grey card, because it's not worth as much. And I'll get rid of the duplicate black card. And this is my new hand size. And then I will take my extra action, and I'm going to go to Kansas City. So I'm going to put the blue token on, because I do need that. I'm going to put what's an 8 value one? Let's put another one of these in, because I can't be bothered. Oh, it's quite, there's loads of those. I'm just going to put him there, and I'm going to put this one here, obviously. And that's the end of that, so I'll fill those in. Oops, just dropped a token. Number 2 over here, and number 3 is an engineer. Hooray. So now we go here. Now what is my hand? What's my actual hand? I've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus 13, 14, 15. Plus I could bump it up one even more if I want. But 16 would be nice, especially because I'm going to have the money to be able to upgrade my hand size. Yes, and it gives me less pressure on the next turn. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to bump it up to 16. So I spend 1, So I have a total of 16 of my cow value. So it's, yeah, 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16. Now, if I'm shipping to here, I'm already there, so I can do that. And that means that I now have an extra hand size if I spend $5, which I will. And I get to place that one there because that was a black bordered city. So Sacramento has now been served, and that gained me 6 points, as you can see, because there's a little 6-point symbol there. So yeah, I did miss out by not playing in El Paso, but I'm hoping to maybe do that next round. Anyway, so I will get rid of those. I mean, not get rid of them, discard them. And I go into the next round with 6 fresh cards, 6 fresh cards. So I've got those 5, and I will shuffle these. And yeah, I think it just twist that slightly. There we go. All right, so while I'm doing that, Garth is going to, let's move me back over here, and then Garth is going to take his turn. All right, so he is going to move 2 spaces. All right, Garth, so he's going to go here, he's going to go here. And now Garth has got $8 to spend, 1 cowboy. You think he can only buy this? That's all he can buy. Yep. So there we go, you can have that card, Garth. That's the rubbish one. You can have the Holstein cow. Not Halfstein, Holstein. Haha, if anyone's listening. My terrible jokes. Okay, so I'm shuffling, and this is it. So there we go, this is my card. This my deck is done, and I'm going to reveal. I've got horribly duplicate cards here. So I've got 3 jerseys, 2 Dutch belt, and 1 Guernsey cow. But it's fine, because I will think about my next turn. I do want to move forward a lot. I have 4 spaces I could move, actually. Maybe I forgot that last time, but it's fine. Okay, so do I want to go here? Take a teepee tile, maybe? I mean, if I did take that blue one, I would have a pair of that I could spend. Do I want to do that? Or do I want to go to the cow market and sell that white cow for 4? I should have hired someone, really. But I maybe spend 12 and just get the brown cow while I can. It's not brilliant. It's a lot of money, but might be the best option. Because I have no point going further on at the moment with the trains. I don't need extra cattle. I can afford to have like a lower value turn this time. So it's whether I want to take the TP that gives me 2 money, but it does complete an objective. And a double action, which means I could cycle these cards up somewhat. Actually, I think I'm alright. I'm going to keep all these cards. I think I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3. So yeah, let's sell the Guernsey cow for 4 money. So I'll just take 4 individual. And actually, then I'm going to spend 12 money to buy this brown castle card, because that is good. So yeah, so let's spend 10, 12 to take the cattle of the West Highland cow. Goes into my discard pile. And then that's the end of my turn, so I'll draw another card. Ooh, look at that. Got the brown Swiss. The brown Swiss is there. Okay, so there we go. Garth's turn. Now what's he going to do? Garth is going to move cattlemen as many spaces as they have cowboys, which is 1. So they go here. And then if they are specialised in cowboys, which they're not, so we can ignore that. Okay, so my next turn, I have double grey cards. Ooh, thank you for following, by the way. I can't read it. The AOE dungeon. Is that the area of effect dungeon? Because that's pretty cool. Thanks for following, by the way. I hope you have you played Great Western Trail before? Obviously, if you just want to watch, that's totally cool. But you've been missing out on some great cow jokes in the chat. So feel free to contribute if you want. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to move up to here. I'm going to sell 2 Jersey cows for 4 money. So let's get those out of the way. And I'm just going to swap that up for a 5. There we go. So that's that. I don't think I drew at the end of my last turn, did I? I didn't. It doesn't matter. No, I did. Okay, and now do I want to take a hazard for 7 money? Now, not a terrible idea because there was a 4 value one there somewhere. But what am I saving money for? I want to hire some employees later on, so actually that's what I'll do. So I'm not going to do that. So that's the end of my turn. Now Garth, let's see what Garth is going to do. Garth is going to move as many as buildings on the board, which is still 2. So we'll go 1 and then 2. And if he's specialised in engineers, which he has, move as many spaces as he has engineers. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's going to skip the station, so he's never going to get those points. Brilliant. And there we go. That's it. So my turn. Next, I'm going to go probably. I would probably want. Oh, I should have drawn at the end of my turn. Let's see what I got. Well, I got another green card here. So I think I might use the next action and maybe build, because I can do that for not free, but I can build. I could spend 4 money and then hopefully get more money before I go to hire. We'll see. I'll just do it anyway because I think it's not a bad idea. Well, let's say go 1, 2, 3. Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to spend. So I'm going to gain 2 money, and then I'm going to spend that money to upgrade this to a hazardy building, because right now this would get me money. So I'm going to do that. I know I've benefited a lot from that card there. I must lose you on out of here. Best of luck against your arch nemesis Garth Brooks. Oh yes, I hope that I beat him. I will let you know, don't you worry. But thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I hope your stream went well as well. I look forward to your next one. Yeah, so take care. All right, so I will upgrade this, I think, because I need to get some more money points on the board, and I don't want to spend all my money because I want to save it for. Actually, could I gain? Yeah, I'm going to lose some. You know what, this is rough. I might not be able to hire someone this turn as well. But anyway, at least in that case, what I will do is I'll go here. Because it allows me to take an extra turn. Spending money. Actually, maybe here. Ooh, this is tough. Because I want to put it in the place where I'm going to benefit from having this hazard. Because it means 2 money every time he passes it. But it's going to cost me a lot of money to do that and then get an extra turn. So I want to go somewhere where I'm probably going to gain more money. Well, how about here anyway? Because then if I do have money, I can gain money from this card maybe. And I hopefully should have lots of money coming back from Kansas anyway. So I think let's do that. And I could potentially get a bonus here as well. So let's do that. So that cost me an extra 2 money because I got 2 from selling the Dutch belt card, which I didn't do yet. Add me. And then the next 2 money comes from my supplies. That's 4 total to build a 2-level building. And yeah, that's the end of my turn because I've built and yeah, cool. So I've got 5 cards, so I draw 1 more. Nice. It's good because I'm up to 3, 6, 8, 10, 11 right now. 11 money. All right, Garth's turn. Let's see what Garth's going to do. Garth is going to move 1 space. So he moves up here. And Garth is going to hire the cheapest employee of any type. Specialized employee, then top left. So the most numerous. No, he's the cheapest available employee of any type. Specialized employee, then so cheapest available employee of any type would be the 6, and in case of ties, it'd be the top left. So he's going to hire this guy. Ooh, still specialized in engineers. And that's it. That's his turn. Okay, so do I go and sell the Black Angus for 2 money, or do I just skip over the hire an employee card? Because it's still quite pricey at the moment. And it's actually, because there's loads of 6 and 7s, it's not going to make a huge difference if I miss it. But maybe I just rush ahead. And I could go 1, 2, 3, 4. I could get here, which means I move the trains forward and I get to draw. Maybe I draw some better cards. I think that's probably what I'll do. And then I don't have to stop there. I can always do it anyway. So let's go 1, 2, which I have to pay 2 money for. So let's do that now. 1, 2, 3. 3 money. And then I'll go 3. I can't do anything there, so I'm just going to go here 4. So I move forward 1 space, which actually benefits me now because he's in the way. And I get to do a double auxiliary action, which is either spending money to move my train forward more, which is actually not a bad idea, because I can do that next turn to get more cards. So yeah, I'm going to spend 2 money to move my train forward 2 spaces. So I go 1, 2. I'm on the right side of the board now. It's exciting. Okay, then I get to do an auxiliary. Oh, I've already done it. Okay, so that's fine. I moved 1 and then 2, and that's the end of my turn. Great. So now Garth's turn. What's Garth going to do? Garth is going to move 2 spaces. So he's going to go 1, 2. And Garth is specialized in engine. Well, move engine as many spaces as Garth has engineers, so it's 4. on this track here. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and he is going to go here. So he is going to spend a token and he's going to go in there. But that's fine. I'm about to do the same thing. Well, if he gets out there anyway. Okay, so my turn is going to go here. I'm going to draw 2 more cards and hopefully at least 1 new colour. Brilliant. That's pretty good. So what I'll do then is I'll draw these 2 and I'll get rid of a green and a black. Get rid of the green and the black card, and this is my new hand, which is pretty tasty. It's a pretty tasty hand, guys. So then I'm going to use my next action to do the Kansas City thing. So let's add a hazard tile here. So it goes here. Add a cowboy, obviously. Cowboy goes here, and the cattle market refills. And let's add an engineer. Let's add an engineer there. Okay, so let's fill these in before I forget. 2 is there, and 3 is here. And then finally, well, number 4 or 5 actually. Let's look at my hand. So I got 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, plus 15, 16, 17. And you know what? Let's... that's so tempting to go to early one. I think actually I might. I'm on 17. I don't think I'm going to spend this. Instead, I'm going to upgrade and I'm going to sell to San Diego, which isn't as many points. Oh, or I could go here and get 3 money. In fact, I'll do that. So I'm going to go to here. El Paso gets me 6 points and it gets me 3 money and the money that I had anyway from the sell. So that would be 17. 3, 6, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so 17 money. So let's take that as well. And I'm going into the next round with a lot of money, by the way, which is very pleasing. There we go, and I don't have to do anything there, so I come all the way back down to here, and that's me done. So let's draw 6 cards. Probably not going to have 6 in here. We're going to have 5. Yeah, so I draw 1 more from here. And actually, having doubles of cards and a white card, there's a double of a white card is actually pretty sweet. Okay, so Garth is going to take his turn, and Garth's action is to move 1 space, which is going to go right to Kansas. He still does his action, and he's going to take this furthest objective card. He's going to take that, and then he is going to move these down, and then take this here and put it here. Oh, look at that. I could achieve that. If I get a chance to do that, I should totally do that, because I'm easily going to get to San Francisco, I think. Black Angus cattle fact. Steakhouses can charge 10 to 50% higher prices for Black Angus beef. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? That's the question of the day. Get a bonus. I don't know if I can do bonuses, but you can get a bonus if you can figure out why. Is it just because it tastes better? Who decides that? Who's this mystery person who decides which tastes better? Because I hate fish, but some people pay a lot for fish. Anyway, that's the thought of the day. And the last card is going to be a green, a Dutch belt. Okay, look at all this money. I'm so happy. Okay, but before we do that, we need to sell. We need to set this up. So this goes here, and that fills up that track up there. We add another. Oh, we didn't do the. I did not do the cattle. So let's add some cattle. It's got 4. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, there's a 5 cowboy here. Ooh, that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Okay. So that's him done. We'll fill up. Oh, he goes to here. Bam. And we fill these up now, because I always don't remember that. And the game is actually nearly over, so I need to get my skates on if I want to get any more. I think I'll try and race through to. Oh, it won't be over yet. There's still 2 more cattle things in it. Anyway, so he's done his turn, and now it is my turn. So what do? Do I take a TP? I don't need a TP right now. I mean, I could take one. It's only going to give me 2 money, and it doesn't really get me anything. Or I could go here and just spend 2 money to move forward 2 more, which is... I'm not too bothered about that right now. I think I want to hire somebody. Not that I really need to, really. But yeah, let's just play it out. So go 1 here. Oh, here we go. I'll do this instead. So I'm going to go here, spend 5 money for the hazard. I'll take this lovely 4-point hazard, please. Well, I'm going to take this because he's going to take from the place with the most hazards, and this is only going to get him 3 points. But here he'll get 4 if it doesn't matter. Yeah, so if I took from there, it would leave him 4 points that he could take later on. Okay, and then I get to do another action, but I'm going to do this bonus action first, which means getting rid of a Jersey cow, which I will. It's not scrapping, it's just discarding it to gain 1 certificate and 2 money, meaning that whole turn I basically spent 3 money and got a hazard and a certificate and got rid of one of the cards out of my hand. So that's where this game really rocks, when you get a great turn like that. But I also get another turn, so now I can go 1. Do I want to stay there and do that? I don't think I do, so I'm going to carry on to here, so 2, and I think I will stay there because I'm going to buy me a brown cow. So I'll get rid of this for 4 money. So, what am I doing? Moving that over there. I'll get rid of that for 4 money, so let's just put 1 back and take a 5. And then, yes, I'm going to spend 12 money to get myself. Or do I want to get... No, actually, much more beneficial for me right now, I think, because that's worth 5 points, yes, for 12. But I need to think about how much money I'm going to save to get a higher thing later, hire some people. I think then, do I just sell? Do I buy a cow? I think I'm just going to buy a cow for 6 money. I'll just do this 1 and then 6, and I have plenty of money to hire people later on. Okay, let's just do that. I'll take the red because it's worth 2 points. There we go. Maybe not my best idea, but we will see. Okay, so then I am done. So that's that, and then it's Garth's turn. So let's see what Garth's doing. Garth's end of the turn. So here we go, shuffle the deck. Okay, so then he moves 2 spaces. So it's going to go 1. Oh, it's the same. He's going to go here then, I guess. And then you'll build or upgrade a B-side building using as many craftsmen as possible. Now he has 3. So he's going to build a new building for 3. So he's going to build this. He's going to build it in front of me. He's going to build it right there. So yeah, it's going to be 3. I think that's the best he could do. Yeah. So he's always going to build a new building if possible. All right. And then that's it. That's all he does. So now it's my turn. So my turn. Now I have to go past that. So no fees, thankfully. Oh, I need to draw my cards. 1 and 2. I've got a double black card, so I could go here. I've got a green card, so I could go there and build. Or I could go straight up there and sell to get another cow, but I probably shouldn't. I just need something that gets me money. You know what? I'm just going to go here. Here, sell the black Angus cards. The 15. These ones aren't 15% higher price, are they? Haha. I kid. 5 money. And then I get to take a hazard for 7. 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 money. So if I hit 7, it's going to give me 13 money, which isn't going to give me enough to hire 2 people next turn. So actually, I think I'm just going to avoid that. I'm not going to take a hazard. Unless there's a 4... Well, there's a 4-point one, though. 7 money for 4 points. No, you know what? Even if I only hire 1 person, it's probably worth it. So I'm going to take this, because that is a lot of points. Look at that lens. I got so much over there. Actually, look, I should be collecting hazards because every pair is worth 3 points as well. Okay, so that's my turn done. So Garth's turn. What's Garth going to do? Garth is going to move 1 space. Ooh, not moving very fast this turn, and he's going to take the highest value TP spot. Okay, there we go. Done. My turn. Now, I didn't draw at the end of my turn again. Now I could go here actually. I could go there just to take 2 money. Is it worth it? But I could build as well. Building's probably worthwhile. Let's have a look, because I've got 2 there, and I could upgrade that to a 3, which is 2. Ooh, that was good. I think I'll do that then. I'll move this here. I'll sell the Dutch belt for 2 money, and then I'm just going to use that 2 money that I would have gained to upgrade this. Yeah, so I go from a 2 to a 3, and this one basically lets me get rid of a black card to get 2 spaces down on that, and getting me a money, which isn't great at the moment, but who knows? We might be able to afford an engineer now. So then that's the end of my turn. Yeah, that's the end of my turn. So Garth, what's Garth going to do? Garth's going to move 2 spaces. So he's going to go the quickest space. I'm so sorry. And then he's going to move Kellerman 2 spaces. Oh, no, he's going to move engine as many spaces as he has engineers. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, fine. Doesn't do anything though, which is great. And then it's my turn, so I'm going to go... did I want to go right up to the hiring spot? Oh, actually, I haven't drawn my card, have I? Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, fine. Yeah. So if right, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 at the moment. 12, no, 9. You know what? I'm going to go here. I think I'm doing this wrong because at the end of the game, I really should just about getting points, but I'm just too much of a sucker for. Well, I haven't got anything for that, so I'm not going to buy any cows. So I'm just going to go here and 2, which I have to spend 2 money, which I forgot about. Damn it. 3 spaces and sell this, so that 2 money is just going to be spent there. But what have I got now? I've got 13 money. 13 money. So I can definitely hire 1 person. You know what? I could hire a engineer and get an immediate bonus. So yeah, let's do that. So I'll spend 6 money on that, and then I have 7, but there's no one else I can afford. But this one does let me get rid of this Jersey cow to move down 1 on here. And that means that I can draw 2 cards at the end of my turn. That's good. That's also pretty good. Not the best, but it's alright. Justification for high price of black Angus beef. Supposedly, the fat is dispersed evenly against the actual cut of the meat, which makes it more tender and juicy. Junus. This was I started reading the next sentence before I finished the last one. Makes it nice and tender and juicy. Okay. You can have bonus points if I figure out how the hell to do that. And in fact, if you can figure out how the hell to do that, let me know and I'll do it for you. Ooh, had a new follower. Lizzie Garth. Thank you so much for following. It's very kind. I'm assuming you're a board game fan, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Yes, this is the middle of Great Western Trail versus the Automa, which is a solo mode created by a fan. So it's not official, but so far it's working very nicely. And you do feel just about the right amount of hate for Garth, who I am actually versing right now. So yes, thank you for watching and for following. All right, let's crack on then, because we've got some things to do. So I've just hired somebody, I've drawn the cards back, and now it is Garth's turn. So you see that little box next to my chat box, that is Garth. So what's Garth going to do? Garth is going to move as many spaces as the highest count of buildings, which still is 3. So Garth's going to move 3 along the shortest routes. It's 1, a 2, a 3. Brilliant. So the game will end very shortly. It's annoying because I actually want him to go first now, because I will get the bonus 2 points if that's the case. But then I'll get an extra turn, I guess. So it doesn't matter. Anyway, so he's moved that many spaces. If he's specialised in engineers, which he is, so I'm going to move this up to show you, just because you might not know. But ultimately, at the beginning of the game, the Automa board specialises in a specific type of person, which happened to be the engineer, and has stuck with it throughout the game. It can change if you get more employees of another type and overtakes, but so far definitely stuck with engineers, just through sheer luck and the game. And so that's basically what it means when it's talking about if the other character Garth has specialised. So yes, I hope that's cleared that up. All right, so we are doing that, and because he has specialised in engineers, you move as many spaces as he has engineers onto a station. And I believe he's going to go here, and he's just going to upgrade there for a nice, tasty 6 points. So there we go. All right, so now my turn, and I think that the best thing for me to do right now is to go out and maximize my cards. So it's whether I go 2 space. You know what? I've just realized something brilliant. If I go here, I can now move, because of the extra engineer, 2 spaces into there. I'm going to have to spend 1 money to use that action to get 1 money, so I can afford to upgrade that station, but I think that's the best way to do it. So yeah, I'm going to go here, I'm going to use the double auxiliary action, but only to get 1 money, and ultimately that 8 points is going to be used to upgrade the station. And I take a black token. I don't think it's going to matter now because I'm kind of running out, but maybe just on the basis that, no, actually on the basis that I could upgrade that and get more points, yes, I'll take that one. So I spent the 8 money, gives me the 5 points. Alright, so Garth's turn next. What's Garth going to do? Garth is going to move as many spaces as he has cowboys, which is 1. So he's going to move 1 space to here. And then he has not specialized in cowboys, so he doesn't get to do an action. My action, however, is going to be very simple. I'm going to go here. I'm going to draw 2 cards as my double auxiliary action, hoping for at least 1 higher value card. Well, that's good. No, it's not, because I already have one of those. Okay, so that was pretty useless, but it doesn't matter because it was free anyway. It doesn't change my go. So yeah, ultimately now what I'm going to do is, let's have a look. So now I'm going to move on with this action, move 1 space forward, and I'm just going to complete this. Let's add a, yeah, I'm going to add the hazard. I'm going to add the TP because I don't want him to put that on there because it means that blocks up. Let's add a cheap cowboy at the end. That could be good for adding some cheap cattle to my hand at the end if I can get here. And yeah, let's just do another cattle. I don't think it's worth it at the moment to add another engineer. So that's that. It's my turn. Oh, that's not done actually. Now I add up my hand, removing any duplicates. There's no duplicates. So I have a hand size of 2, 5, 6, 9, 11, 13. 13 plus 14, 15, 16. And do I want to... 16 is probably... 16 is enough. I could bump that up to 18, but I'm going to get 12 points just by selling to San Diego. So I'm totally fine with just doing 15, right? Let's check it again. 2, 5, 6, 9, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 16 is enough. So let's do 16. So I've sold my cattle, 16 bucks, 15 and 1, 16. My train is well past the delivery thing, so I'll take one of these, it doesn't matter. Well, I have kind of been screwed over by that one. So I'll take that one, and I'll plot that there in San Diego, which means I don't have to pay any tolls. And as you can see, because of that, I gain 12 points for completing the adjacent bonus. Alright, so we filled these tokens in. Here we go. And I think that the game's going to end very shortly, and we'll find out who won. But for the now, I go back here, and Garth is going to have one of his last turns. He's going to move 1 space. Yes, he's going to move 1 space, and he'll take a token from the space with the most tokens, and he'll take the highest one. So he's going to take this one. So he's going to take that. Okay. And then he's going to do this. So he's going to add this, because he always takes from the top row. He's going to add that, which pushes that off and gives him the 2 points, I think, at the end of the game. He's going to add this as well, which it doesn't fit on, but it just gets discarded anyway. And for now, we'll just leave that, because I don't think any of us are going to get back up there. But let's do this just in case. Let's just do it just in case. You never know. Very unlikely. It's not going to happen, but just for the sake of completionists watching it, I get you. All right, and then 1 more turn each is what happens. I think my best option right now is to go 1, 2, 3, 4. If I can get 1, it doesn't even matter because I'm going to spend that money on getting this card right here. So anyway, let's draw my hand out of cards. So 1, 2, 3, and I really, just for the extra money maybe, because it could be worth an extra point, hope that I draw a white card, which I think is a Guernsey cow. And then we'll be done. My goodness, this is taking a long time. This is a very long game, by the way. But to be fair, I did spend about 45 minutes teaching it, so it's probably only about 2 hours maximum gameplay time. We'll find out. Okie doke. Right, I think that's shuffled enough. So let's draw, and hopefully we get a white card just for the potential of another point. Oh, look at that. First one. So Guernsey. Okay, greedy with the Guernseys. But yes, so I'm going to take one of those. Got real dry throat while I was talking. Yeah, so I'll take one of those. I'll get 4 coins. So again, just swap that out for that. And yes, I'm going to spend 12 money to buy this cow. 12 money to buy this cow. So let's get rid of those and get 13 back. Not 13 back, 3 back. That's that. And then I think that is my last ever turn of this game. And the Automa, Garth, as we've come to affectionately call him, because that's his name, is going to move 3 spaces, because that's how many building he's got. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. Wait, is that right? Yeah, same way. And then he's not specialized in that, so he doesn't get a last turn, and that's him done. All right, so we are now at the point where we are going to score this game. Now, I do have to clarify some stuff with regards to how the Automa actually scores, but I know they don't get points for money. I'm just trying to pick a nice, brightly coloured, sharp pen. I'll just use purple, it's fine. Alright, so we're going to do this. Now, me versus Garth, so let's put R for me and G for Garth. Let's score me first. No, actually, let's score Garth first, because I'm pretty sure I've beaten him. Let's check the rules. Right, so scoring. Your score is calculated as normal. Garth's score is calculated mostly normally. He doesn't score for money, so let's do this. Removing the 3 victory point disc. I think they meant the 2 victory point disc. Because I don't think they score for that. That's the only thing I can think of. Oh no, the 3 victory point disc. He doesn't score for that. Or Stationmaster Tiles. Okay. He scores positive points for all objectives as though they were all completed. Brilliant. Okay, so let's do that first. No money, but how many building points does they have? Well, they have 3, plus 4, 7, plus 1, 8. 8 points for that. Station tiles, let's have a look. So at the top there, you can see that they've completed this, so 6. They've completed this, so something like 8. So that's 14 total. And I think that's it. There's nowhere else they're going to get that. Yeah, so 14 points for Garth. Now we score for these tiles. Doesn't score for Station Master, but does score for stations. And this is why we may have messed up. But if we've messed up in the Automa's favour anyway. Because they would have stopped earlier and they may not reach this. But we'll see. So 6, 11, 12, 13, 14 points for those. So 14 points again, look at that. Then we score for hazard tiles. So at the top there, I should probably just zoom this. You can't really see it anyway. What I will do then instead, I'll bring them on the board. So let's take the hazard tiles and just put them over here for you to see. This is the hazard tiles they got. They didn't get many. Got one more up here. There we go. So this is their hazard tiles. That means they scored a total of 11 points. For cow cards, now they didn't actually buy that much cattle because I think this sort of Automa wasn't so strong on that. So they only score 4 points for cattle, which is a bit unfortunate really. But yeah, that's it. Then they score for objectives, and we can assume they've all scored all of their objectives. So again, we're going to move this. I'm going to just show you here. Oh, hang on. What am I doing? I'm doing this all wrong. So we're going to score this one and this one. And 2 more, which I think is correct. I think is correct. So we'll score 5, 10, 13, 16 points. 16 points for those. Stationmaster Tiles, they do not score for those. They do not score for that. And they do score for people, and they didn't get any points for that. So there's no points for people, but they did score the 2 points for the victory. So there we go. Okay, and now my turn. So let's see how much I got. So money-wise, I got 8 money. So I actually got 1 point. The buildings, how much did I score for buildings? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So even though I wasn't actually trying that hard for buildings, I still scored the same. Okay, so then the cities at the top. So I got 2 there for 6. It might not be obvious, but these ones, I'll just knock them over so you can kind of see that they have both been scored here, because it's not obvious. Okay, so yeah, I scored the 6 points there, plus the 8, so that's 14, plus the 4, so that's 18, and then another 6, that's 23 24 points. 24 points. The station tiles, so here I score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points. The hazards, okay, so this is why I need to check, because I know that the hazards, the objectives, for example, oh no, I still score those points anyway, so that's fine. So I'll score my hazard points, which is you can't necessarily see here, but I got 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15 points. 15 points for the hazards. Cow cards. Now, this is where I go through my hand my whole deck of cattle cards, taking out the basic ones, so like these ones which don't actually score anything, because now you're only looking at the ones you bought during the game. So that would be a scoring one. That would not. That would. You know what? I think I've got this, guys. I just have a strong feeling based on those scores so far, but you never know. So yeah, that one, and then that one, and I think I bought one more. No, I didn't. That was it. Oh no, I bought 2 brown cows as well. Cool. Alright, so my total for this was 3, 8, 9, 13, 15, 17. 17 points for cattle. Objectives, well, I'm pretty sure I got this, but let's just check anyway. So I definitely got 2 of those stations, that's perfect, and 2 hazards, which you can do those. 2 more hazards for this, and a blue TP, which is that. So I score 3 points for this, and I score 5 points for that. So it's 8 points in total. 8 points in total for that. I also score for Stationmaster Tiles. So let's have a look. Now this is where I've got to check. Does it count in terms of Stationmaster Tiles if I've used them for objectives? So let's just check this. Stationmaster Tiles. In front of you. I imagine that means that I can get them. The player must take out all objective cards they still have in their deck, but they want to remove it from the game or add it to the personal objective area now. Okay, without using this immediate action. Afterwards, checks each objective card to be fulfilled. For all the cards that are entirely fulfilled, yes. I think that means it doesn't specifically say. Joke, what do you call a bull that's been knighted? I don't know. Something. I don't know. It's got to be Sir something. I don't know any cows beginning with that though. Sirloin. Ah, that's brilliant. Ah, that's very good. Saving the strong ones till the end there. Fair play. Okay. So, just to carry on with this, I think I still get these. So I scored 2 points. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I scored 6 of those. So I actually got 9 points from that. I did get 1 pair of TPs, so that's 3 for that, so that's 12. And I got 4 hazards, so that's 6 more for that, so it's 15, 18 points, which is very good. This one, I did score the 3 points for that, so that's good. Oh no, that's not right. No points for the staff. 3 points for that, no points for that. So let's add about 4 total. That's an original Lindsay right there. That's very good. Lindsay is a strong joke creator. 9, so let's add these up. So 9, 33, 44, 59, 66, 76, 84, 92, 102, 105. That's a strong score. And then we've got this one, which is 22, 26, 36, 47, 51, 57, 67, 69. Oh, look at that. So that's the final score, guys. So the final score of the game is myself. I won with a whopping 105 points versus the Automa, which is 69 points. Now, what is my thoughts on the game? Good question. I think it was a little bit easy for me. I don't know if I... Thank you, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, I clapped myself. Suck it, Garth. Garth Brooks. Stick to music, yeah? No, I enjoyed the game. I think I was a little bit strong in that game, and I played this a few times, so I do think that I'm good at it, but I obviously am worried that maybe the Automa was too easy. I did put it on medium difficulty, so there is different levels you could go, and it can be made harder. I'm not sure how, but I still feel like it's a little bit easy. I don't know if it's... I don't know, what do you think? I'd like to curious about hear your thoughts. If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on it. And otherwise, be curious to just let me know what if you was something you maybe going to try for yourself, or Garth, more like Bath. The jokes keep coming. That's very good. No, but I've honestly enjoyed playing it. I've enjoyed it. It's a good, satisfying game. If you don't have, friends who are able to do it, and it does feel like you're playing against a person. It's not fiddly. I can appreciate it. Oh no, absolutely, my pleasure. For I'm just glad that you could watch it and that it was useful to you. My voice is going now. I'm definitely gonna need to have a drink after this. Lesson learned. Bring a glass of water next time you do a long stream like this. But honestly, I've had really good fun playing it. It's not too fiddly. Takes about the same time as a normal game with 2 players, and that's including me talking and stuff. But so maybe it could be quicker. But yeah, I'm more positive than I'm negative, and I'd like to maybe try it again on a more difficult level. And there are, by the way, I should point out, there are more types of players now. I think there's one called, I can't remember his name. It's like Brogan or something, and there's another type of character that you can play against who does something a little bit different. So obviously this one is more about going on like an emphasis, and it just tries to do that, but it didn't feel like it did much. But then again, obviously it's specialized in engineers, so it was obviously doing more engineer stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you watch this and you haven't followed me already, please feel free to do so. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock British Standard Time, summertime, I will be interviewing, having a lovely tea and a chat with Emma from Pointless Parrot Podcast. So I'd love for you to tune in then, which is in about 24 hours from now. So thanks for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you on the next stream. But until then, I look forward to seeing you there as well. Until then, take care and goodbye. Bye.